Yo, what's going on, people? WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm back on Worldwide this week, joined by Phil Lindsay, Grapsody Phil, Chicago Phil. And a lot's been going on the past few days, man. There was Clash in Paris last night. Sunday, last night, which we're going to review that, but obviously a lot of other stuff as well. Even on Friday, Sami Zayn winning the US title. Obviously, AEW Collision, as always. That was a good show. ROH Death Before Dishonor was a really good show as well, I thought. And obviously, Raw has just happened because they're still in Paris and they did an early Raw. So I'm sure, some highlights from all of that are all going to pop up whilst we're doing this little live stream. But anything else you guys want us to talk about, debate, anything like that, any discourse you guys want to get into. So, get into all that. Send your super chats. It helps support the channel. It gets you guys involved with the show as well. So, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. But yeah, man, before we get started, talk to me, Phil. What's going on? You have a good weekend? You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I've attempted to. Hope people had a good weekend. Watch the wrestling you enjoy. Don't complain about the wrestling you don't enjoy. Sometimes that's difficult for people, I guess. I don't know why, but...
It's what I mean, man. Weekends like this as well, it's just always some sort of weird discourse comes out of it, or something, or someone finds something to complain about, man. It's just, I don't know, bro. It's tiring. It's tiring for a lot of people, man. Me included, but it's like, but we got shows to talk about. We got good wrestling to talk about. There was it was scattered all over the place. I thought good wrestling, good, the bad, the ugly, as always, But yeah, WWE in Paris, man. Those French crowds are very, very, very hard. They're probably the best European crowds. Let's be real. I'm saying that as a Brit. I don't think we match the French, bro. What do you think as an outsider? Phil, what you think?
French brings it. They bring the chants. They bring the songs. The UK tries to bring the same energy. UK has a pretty big wrestling scene, though, like with the Brit wrestling scene,
of course.
with the amount of like content creators that are in the UK as well. But I do think like it comes across better on the shows live in France, and I think it's because the French don't get as many shows as everybody else does sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. Europe, the rest of Europe don't really get a lot, do they? From WWE, AEW, It's one of the things I was kind of hoping somebody would ask Tony Khan at the scrum, to be honest, like the rest of Europe, like at the Forbidden Door scrum. Because it's just like, of course they'll come to the UK, we know that. They got a strong built-in fan base in the UK. It seems like all these promotions do. Obviously WWE does, because obviously, so even TNA, bro. We love TNA in the UK, like we always have done, You can sell tickets to TNA shows in the UK, bro. And obviously AEW the same. But, like the rest of Europe, man. Like I was just saying, I think the French crowds are probably better than the UK ones, as Phil said. We do all the singing and the dancing and we're loud and everything, but there's just something to that French energy, bro. It's different. It's different.
They've got their specific chants over the simplement de.
That gets a bit too much, but still, like, they get carried away a bit, but they have a good time, man. And like you said, they don't. It's not like they get a show every single year or anything like that. So they make the most of it. They definitely make the most of it. They got the John Cena match this year on the retirement run. I'm sure they're very happy about that. They got the real John Cena as well, not this fraud that's been going around for most of the year. This fake John Cena that we've had to tolerate for most of this year.
Don't even know what you're talking about. We've just completely moved on from that. Never happened. Trey Bizarre.
But yeah, they got the French got the real John Cena. It was against Logan Paul, but still, I thought he put a shift in. Like, we'll get to it, but I thought Cena. I thought Cena put a real shift in. So God bless. But yeah, man, WWE Clash in Paris, as we were just saying, great crowd as expected. A few big things coming out of it. I guess the main two things would be Roman getting stretchered off after his match with Bronson Reed, and of course the big Becky Lynch angle to close the show, joining the Vision on screen, paired with her husband Seth Rollins once again. But this time, Phil, as heels. They're doing it as heels this time. Very different dynamic, I think. I think a lot of people are kind of already turning their nose up at it. And I get it, because last time it was terrible. But the creative behind it was terrible, and they were also trying to be a babyface power couple, which is always going to be a hard role to
Very
play,
hard.
bro. Very hard role to play. So doing it as heels, I think, I'm willing to give them a chance, them ones. But yeah, that's obviously, I would say they're the two biggest things coming out of it. Then of course all the other stuff that happens. So we'll start from the top, because that's one of the big things, man. Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed. You could argue definitely that this is the biggest match of Bronson Reed's career, bro. He had an opportunity against Seth Rollins on pay-per-view in a singles match, and now he's getting one against Roman as well. Two huge opportunities for him. I thought Roman Reigns kind of put his working boots on as well, like he knew he was going to be away for a while. It's like Roman's first singles match since Cody Mania, isn't it? Like, how
Is it?
when was Roman's last singles match, chat? When was Roman Reigns last in it? I'm gonna try to be quicker with the chat. Yeah, Roman Reigns cage match, enter. What is it coming up with? Randy Orton.
What Roman Reigns, man? What a guy, man! He comes, shows up. He does maybe 5 matches this year. Somehow gets written off of TV twice in 1 year.
Solo Sikoa.
Oh, that's right. That was the Netflix
debut.
match.
Yeah.
But
Big Solo,
yeah.
21 minutes with Solo.
What a guy, man! Comes out, does double duty this year did double duty last year at WrestleMania. Came main evented this year, gets written off right after WrestleMania, comes back, does the part-time thing, and he's getting written off again because he's got a movie to do with Cody Rhodes and Andrew Schultz and a bunch of other random people. But I thought this match was good.
That film's going to be interesting, bro.
Very interesting.
That is throwing anyone in it. It's crazy.
Very interesting mix of people in that movie. But I thought that this was good because Roman is good at these kind of matches. It reminded me a lot of the Braun matches where he's kind of good at working like a monster heel and getting over their offense and getting over the big feats of strength. And I think Bronson Reed needed something like this in his match to, validate him as a heel, validate his position in the Vision. I think the match was a little long. That was that was kind of my issue with it. It went on for quite a while, but I thought the match overall was good. And I thought Roman looked good. I thought it made Bronson look like $1 million. I don't think anybody's surprised that Roman Reigns picked up the win here. The aftermath, they've got to figure out a different way to get over how dangerous the Vision is as a group than doing these elongated beatdown segments where they keep doing the tsunamis back to back, and like it looks like they're getting ready to walk up the ramp, but then they come right back down there and keep doing the beatdown segment. I feel like we've seen so many beatdowns that look like that this year that it doesn't feel special anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I think I feel like that's a big kind of, I guess, complaint and critique of the Vision in general, is that a lot of it is starting to feel repetitive.
Very repetitive.
Very repetitive. The angles, the segments, the opening, the Raws, the finishes, blah, blah, blah. All of it is very repetitive. A lot of DQs, all this stuff, So, yeah, man. We'll see. But they went 22 minutes. I'd say, yeah, they probably did go a bit too long, Everyone knows I'm kind of always jumping on that kind of narrative with these matches. But, yeah, Bronson Reed, man, another huge opportunity for him. I didn't think the Seth match on pay-per-view was particularly great when that happened. And like I said, that was probably the other biggest opportunity he's had, I guess, discounting War Games.
Yeah.
Where he shattered his ankles. But
yeah.
But yeah, man, I think when it comes down to it, I struggle to come down to really buy Bronson Reed as this huge, big physical presence and dominating heel in ring.
Mm-hmm.
I find his heat segments are I don't find his heat segments particularly interesting or very good. and they haven't got much better even in that space that I could just mention now from this first Seth match to this one with Roman. Um, so when it comes to filling the space as a heel and being really kind of like, he could be devastating, bro. Look at the size of him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, however, I will give him this. He hits his big moves and he can move really well for a big man. So like his closing stretches when he's going back and forth, like the counters to the spear, the drop kick, the reversal into the sit out power bomb, and obviously when he hits his tsunami as well, you know. But yeah, just generally picking up the pace and hitting his big stuff and going the big back and forth and stuff like that. I think that's kind of like that's his bag rather than trying to be like the big dominating physical heel, you know, like that's not really his bag. And when he has these long matches, I think it exposes that. So yeah, he could have shaved a few minutes off this easily, I think, and I think it would have made Bronson look even better, you know, because obviously, as you mentioned, you know, Roman, you know, he gave him the space to fill, bro, and he made Bronson look good. He did look, do you know what I mean? Like, he made Bronson look strong. He made Bronson look strong, but as a
Ironic.
worker, but yeah, as a worker, you know, I do think there's still. I think he could do better at filling that space when he has it as a heel. You know.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think he in this match did a lot of like the stuff we're used to from like New Japan guys, where it's really built on like doing the counters and keeping the other guy from doing their finisher until the very end of the match. You know, building up tension to get to the big moves. That's a really New Japan style of working, and I think with the way WWE usually does things with like the big men, it's not quite the same. So I could see people not really getting into his all of his like heat segments in the match. I think they've got to get him doing more of the stuff he was doing at NXT and like smashing smaller guys, throwing smaller guys around.
Yeah, man, hitting big moves rather than just kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
working like, you know, traditional big man heat segments and that, because he's not your traditional big man, is he really? You know, like I said,
No.
he can get around, man. Especially now that he's lost a lot of weight, bro, over
Yeah.
the past year or however long it's been, 6 months. You know, like he's cut a lot of weight, bro. He's still a big guy, you know, and you can still get the tsunami over as this like game changer, you know. But you know, he can move, bro. He can move. So
Yeah. I,
yeah, man. No, yeah, get
I
more
did
in
think
that
this
bag.
worked really well for him. The promo
Yeah,
he
of course.
did on Raw where he was saying, you know, I'm the Samoan your dad warned you about, and like really getting this Shula Fala thing over as his bid and the tribal thief and getting shirts off of it. I think all of that worked out really well for him. Getting the big match with Roman on this card in Paris. Like you said, he injured his foot, so he missed the big pay-per-view in Perth. That would have been in his home country.
Mm,
So to get like this kind of match on a big stage in Paris, I thought it was really good for him.
yeah, it was. I think yeah, and obviously like, you know, stretcher job. Roman Reigns, obviously Braun Breaker, got it all kicked off. You know, Roman wins the match as we was talking about earlier, and then you know, he's celebrating. He gets on the announce table. He was like signing his Jordans or some shit. Like he was gonna give them
Yeah,
away. He weren't giving those shits away, bro.
he was throwing them into the crowd. So
um,
I thought that was one of the better things about this match is we don't get to see Roman wrestle in front of the international crowd much. I think that was
mm,
really one of the negatives about last year, as hot as WWE was. And you had one of your hottest guys. You were doing all of these international shows, and you didn't have Roman. That felt like a real big misstep for me. And then on top of that, we haven't gotten a chance to see Roman work as a babyface in so long. And he's like hamming it up for the crowd. They were into him. They were giving him all the cheers. He was like responding to it. We haven't gotten to see him work that way in a long time. And I thought that worked really well here, even at the end where he's like giving it up to the crowd. He does the big one on the announce table and starts throwing the shoes out there. It looked cool because I think one of the issues here since Roman has turned is he hasn't done much different as a baby face than he does as a heel. And I think that's at least changed in the last month or so. Um, at SummerSlam, he had the big self-sacrifice to let Jay win the match. And I think that was some character development he needed. And then like here, like I said, we saw him work towards the crowd more than we've seen him work a crowd in recent memory. So then also getting the spot at the end with the beatdown where the Vision is getting booed, he's getting cheered, you're getting the sympathy on him. I think it worked. I just wish they would figure out something else for these guys so they weren't so repetitive. Like all the way to the point where when he initially was doing all the stuff in ring with Heyman, where he puts Heyman in the guillotine, I was like, okay, where's Braun? We know he's coming. And so they really dragged this thing out. So by the time Braun does come out, I was like, okay, there he is. I knew he's eventually coming.
Yeah, you know who's coming. You know what they're gonna do in it. So it's like...
Yeah. I mean, kudos to Braun. When he comes out and he does the big spears to him, I thought that they looked good. And if nothing else, this made me excited for the potential of Braun versus Roman, because I do think that'll be really good.
That's the money, man. That is
Yeah.
the money, isn't it? Roman putting over Braun Breaker. If he does that, I doubt.
I don't know that Braun will win the match, but I do think putting Braun on that big stage and putting him against a guy of Roman's caliber, that's going to do a lot for him. Clearly, they've earmarked Braun as like the next big guy. So you have to assume like that match has to be on the docket at some point.
No, it's got to be 100%. Especially that he's already wrestled Braun. Like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna do one of the singles matches, like you're not gonna pick Bronson Reed unless you're doing both. I don't think, you know. So, but yeah, I think Roman should put him over, because I think it's the most productive thing they can get out of this whole thing, man. Because if the idea is that they're gonna go all the way to Mania to do Seth and Roman at Mania, it's like, wow. I don't know, man. He's like, is that... Who does that help? You know?
But see, it's so funny because all this time, for about 3 years now, I've been saying, just do Seth Roman at WrestleMania. At this point, I think it should be Sami Seth at WrestleMania. I think Sami should be the guy that beats him for the world title. I mean, they've been putting off this world title run for Sami for so long. One of the few pros of doing a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia is that Sami is going to get a massive reaction there. Sami winning the Rumble in Saudi Arabia would be a huge moment for him.
It's the best thing they can do, that Rumble. It's kind of like the silver lining of doing a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Is that maybe they might have Sami win it, you know? Like, that is literally the only silver lining. So, yeah, that's the only one I can think of, you know? Like, it's just... But yeah, like I said, the idea of like this being the thing where it's like Seth Roman at Mania, and it's like that's like the end game of this. It's just like, all right, bro, but I don't need to see that. I don't need that in however many months. How many months away is that as well, bro? Like, Jesus, you know, that's a long time, bro.
About 6 months.
Yeah. I'm already tapping out on this. Like,
it's roughly 6 months.
We'll get to it. But yeah, man, Bronson Reed, I think when he's getting fully into his bag, that's when he's at his best, man. And of course, like the big angle made Bronson and Braun look really good, because, you know, when does Roman ever get stretched off, bro? You know, when does that ever happen? So he's gonna be away for a bit. He's filming Street Fighter, and yeah, he's gonna miss, I don't know, like one pay-per-view cycle. So hopefully he's back before too long. We know Roman likes to put his feet up at home, you know. He's being a dad, he's a family man. You know, he's doing his thing. But
I have to assume he'll probably be a part of Survivor Series in some way.
Yeah, of course, man. Me too. All right. Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy for the tag titles. Not really too much to take away from these other than the Wyatt Six retained, and of course the tension building with the Street Profits, bro.
Yeah.
To be fair, it didn't last that long into the match, but clearly they're at least looking at teasing to see what reaction they'll get.
Yeah.
You know? So they're definitely playing with that idea at the moment of splitting them guys up or doing some sort of big angle between them, because they're teasing something. And I don't know, at this point, bro, you know...
Just come on, man. At this point, you guys should have get off the pot with this, man. I feel like they've been teasing us with the idea of a Montez singles run for so long. You got to get to it at this point. It's unfortunate because I do think that Gacy and what's my man's name? Lumis are good. I think they're a good tag team. I think that they wrestle well. I think that they are actually underrated as workers, but There's so much shenanigans to the Wyatt matches every time. You got to do all of the like interference stuff. Bo's sitting outside in a rocking chair, and like Nikki's gonna do a
Nikki
big
under the
scare
ring.
spot. It's just like just do a straightforward tag match. These guys are good enough to do a straightforward tag match,
Yeah,
and
man.
I think Street Profits came out with the Borderlands stuff. They looked cool.
Mm.
I'm glad that the Street Profits were on this pay per view because they had that stretch where for some reason they weren't on pay per views as good as they were. Like that weird stat that they had going into SummerSlam with however many months that was that they missed pay per views. But it just doesn't make sense to me now to finally get these guys on this streak of pay per view matches. And then, all right, they lose at SummerSlam, then get to this match like, oh, well, there's tension, guys. Like, but why? Like,
That's what
what
I'm
was
saying. So
even the
why
build
why
to this?
now as well, bro? Like why now? Like I don't get like you see you know I look at SmackDown and the idea of Montez being a single star on SmackDown does not excite me that much.
No.
Whereas the tag division on SmackDown is actually like the one thing
Yeah.
that they're kind of cooking with, which I guess kind of leads to me like okay, the Wyatts are like they are pretty underrated as well because like they're not horseshit, you know, like
Right.
at all. There is a lot of shenanigans that severely hinder the matches and probably aids in why they're underrated, you know. But again, that tag division, I think there's also an element of like the tag division that they're in is like, even though they're pretty decent, it's like that tag division is like the work rate division, isn't it? So it's
Exactly.
like the Wyatt's winning again on this pay per view. It's like I don't really think it's
Yeah.
great for this division, and it's almost like it's a bit weird and confusing because I don't know, like this is the work rate division, and the Wyatts are the champs. And it's
Yeah.
like you've got a whole other division that you don't really do that much with Raw. But it's like
Right.
the Wyatts could just be on Raw with those tag belts and just doing like horseshit or whatever, you know.
You
And
you
it's
could
like
have.
you can just let the work rate tag teams just battle it out on SmackDown because I feel like that's what people kind of want to see. You get me?
Yeah, I thought that there was a whole story there with them as tag champions and like the history between the Wyatts and New Day, and you could have really built around that and told stories around that. And they didn't. They put them over here with guys that you want to really see have like the straightforward
Yeah.
matches, like Motor City Machine Guns or the Garzas or
Andrade,
DIY
Phoenix,
or
DIY.
or
Yeah,
or
man.
Pretty Deadly. They've got so many guys over there that could just have great matches, and you're really mucking it up with this Wyatt stuff. And it's not so much that a lot of people are out on just the Wyatt six as an act. It seems like some people aren't, but it just seems like they're misplaced in this division, like you said.
Yeah, it's kind of feel yeah. Fraxium as well. It just feels like yeah
Exactly. Like
they've just got it mixed up because like I said on Raw the tag that's not the tag show, like the belts don't mean that much over there. You can just tell it's just kind of a prop that JD and Finn walk around with, you know. Um, but yeah, the SmackDown tag division, it's like it gets all these prayers and it's just you know you got the Wyatts as a tag champs and granted they're not bad, but they're probably like you know the fifth, sixth best work rate tag team in that division, you know. And it's not all about
yeah.
work rate. The Rover, like, look at that entrance that they did in Paris. They had a great entrance and
Hmm.
they have great reception. And I would not, even with what I'm saying, I wouldn't call for them to not be on the show. You know,
Yeah.
there's something they can add to the show, I guess. You know, but
Yeah.
as
Just
you know, spearheading this tag division, I feel like it's bad
yeah.
casting or whatever you want to call it. You know.
Yeah, and I don't think this match really did anything to prove that point wrong, because it wasn't a bad match. It was pretty inoffensive, but by the end of it, I was just like, I can't do something else with Street Profits. These guys are so good. Like, and if you're not gonna just do a singles run with Montez, don't just tease us with it. Like, go somewhere with this.
Again.
Don't do all of this, and then they end up just still being a tag team in 4 months.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. But yeah, it's like that SmackDown division as well. It keeps those terrible SmackDown shows half watchable, bro. And it's just I don't
Yeah,
know, man. I don't know. But yeah. So the Whites are still the tag champs, and the teasing a potential Street Profits split. So we'll see. Oh, my kind of I guess my proposal for the Street Profits had always been that like Montez just goes and has his singles run. Like they don't have to do a big breakup and one of them turns heel. Like I don't need to see all that with the Street Profits. Like I'm good.
Yeah,
Like I don't need to see all that.
I don't want to see a Montez Angelo Dawkins feud. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
good,
good on
bro.
that.
Like I'm so good. Like they're both good singles wrestlers as well. I can't lie. Like they would probably have decent matches or whatever. But like as a feud, like I just don't need to see that dynamic. You get me? Like I don't need to
Pass.
see. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like I don't need to see Dawkins jealous and resentful of fucking Montez Ford getting the spotlight or whatever bullshit, or Montez turning heel because Dawkins was holding him back. You just know it'd just be some cliche bullshit as well. Like I
I
just
don't.
don't need to
Yeah,
see that, bro. I'm good.
I don't want none
I'm
of that.
good. I'm good. But yeah. Okay. So next on Clash in Paris, we had Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the Women's Intercontinental title. And this is a match that I kind of went back and forth on, because when I first watched it, I was kind of my girlfriend was here, so I wasn't fully paying attention, but I was watching some of it. But it felt like every time I looked up, it was a catastrophe. You get me? So like, I'd look up, and it was that spot where like Bella comes off to the middle rope and completely misses Becky. She's the other side of the ring. Then there's like the table spot on the outside
Oof.
where she's bashing her head off the table, and then it was just like at the end where it just kind of ended somewhat abruptly as well. I was just like, yo, this is terrible. Then I watched it back and it's not good, but it's not as bad as I first thought it was. It's below average, but it wasn't quite the car. You want it easy? It had car crash moments. You know what I'm saying? It had like the moments that I just highlighted, like those real low lights of the match. Like those that. Because they were just so blatant, like
Yeah.
that one where Bella comes off the second rope is crazy. And like Becky stops for like half a second because she doesn't know whether to sell it or not. Like, and yeah, man. But
I
yeah, Nikki Bella, man. Shout out Nikki Bella. I thought she started with like a good like fire and intensity, and she threw some of those Nikki's forearms. She did the baseball slide to the outside, which missed, and she took that bump like a champ, and then Becky throws her into the steps, and it's like Becky gets a decent bit of heat on her, and then then you want to also notice like when Nikki Bella is like trying to do a comeback, the crowd just wasn't there for it like that. Like Becky's too over. It's not even like it's not like they were booing Nikki or anything. They're just like Becky's just too much of a heel to go against for some people,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of like a struggle for the match as well, on top of kind of the car crash moments. And overall, I thought that they almost got it back on track, but then they did like that finish, which I thought was like really abrupt and kind of just like what, like so. But yeah, Becky's still the champ. The match got buried a lot on the timeline, but Nikki seemed happy for it. She shouted out the Bella Army, So
yeah. Yeah. When you think about like where this is going with Becky, they did play some pretty heavy hints here. Like, I mean, Becky being IC champion, one of the most famous runs for her husband on Raw was as IC champion. Also, like a big linchpin for the Divas era. She's wrestling her, and they're very much hinting at one of Nikki Bella's like greatest rivals coming back to wrestle Becky Lynch. It's all very smart storytelling in some ways. I think I expected this to be good because we've seen Becky up against legends and she's had great matches. Like I think she had a really good match with Lita on one of the Saudi shows. Then she had the great feud with Trish where they had that great cage match.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I expected Becky to like have this better performance with Nikki because we've seen her wrestle legends before and do well. And at the start of this match, I was like, oh, the chemistry is just not really there. And I mean, you could see it in some of like the miscommunications, and like as bad as the insecurity off the turnbuckle looks, I do think it's just a miscommunication. It looks like Becky is trying to sell, and Nikki jumped off the turnbuckle before she was in the position. And, unfortunately, Nikki is so polarizing that people are going to either take that and like be overcritical of her, or people are going to over defend her and then be critical of Becky. And
Play Becky.
yeah, so it just both of those things are, of course, like the wrong take to take here. There's some balance in between where it was just a miscommunication. And I think the same thing with like the slams to the table. Like she's clearly like hitting them too fast and not giving Becky a chance to really sell them. And there's other spots where it just looks like I'm not quite sure what was happening. Like there were some of the spots on the outside that didn't look great. Um, I think some of the spots weren't as bad as they were made out to look online. Like the big DDT like cell she did on the stairs looked good. Some of the strikes looked good. I thought overall Nikki looked good in there. She looked like in ring shape, but
Yeah, she looked. Yeah.
this was not a great match. Yeah,
It's chemistry issues more than anything. I think, like you just pointed out, man. Like I said, Nikki did start with a lot of fire, and she does wrestle with an urgency, which I think is a good thing. It's just kind of like it hurt their chemistry, and it's kind of like the timing was a bit off. And like I said, even though they started off pretty fine, and it was quite a promising start in like the first minute or so, it's as soon as those communication issues happen, you see it happen a lot. To be honest, bro, like
yeah.
A match will be going fine, and there'll be, a little bump or something that just goes a little bit off, or a little miscommunication or something, and it just fucks the rest of the match. The rhythm of the match is just gone,
Yeah.
And like I said, like they almost kind of brought it back, and then it had to go straight into the finish, which I didn't think was a great finish. So it's just kind of like,
yeah, they're trying to get over this backslide thing that Becky's doing now as a pin. I don't think this was the match to go for that kind of finish. Even like Nikki trying to do the manhandle slam at one point, I just don't think it got the reaction that it should have from the Paris crowd for it to matter. And I think to your point, Nikki hasn't really been there, and she hasn't had like that kind of equity with this generation of WWE fans for her to really get the reactions of like a Trish or a Lita. Trish and Lita, of course, are like of different statures as legends. And I do think Nikki Bella is a legend as well. But unfortunately, Nikki is so polarized. And of course, she's got like her most avid fans. She's got like staunch diva fans, but she's not like highly regarded and respected the way that Lita and Trish are.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously with a lot of the young fans as well. I think because Trish and Lita are icons from like so long ago, like they've been used to seeing them come back as legends for like the past 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right,
longer than that, maybe. Like 15 years. So
yeah,
it's very different with Nikki. She don't have the credit in the bank like you were saying. So it'll be an interesting run for her, but it seems like she's definitely like up for it. You know what I mean? Like I said, like she looks like she's in shape, and she's she's in ring ready. It wasn't a thing where it was like, oh, she needs to,
just
she needs
the
to
reps.
she needs to pull the plug on this. Yeah, she just needs reps.
Yeah,
and the right dance partners, and I think she'll have a pretty good run if she's sticking around, and I think she is. We'll see if she can convince WWE to bring Brie in. Because the AEW element and Brian working over in AEW apparently is a bump in that road, but we'll see what happens, man. And we'll see what happens.
I do think that's the move because, of course, that is one of the biggest what ifs with the Bellas. That if there were tag belts back then, of course, they would have been the face of the tag division. So you've got to get them a run at the tag belts at least once.
Yeah, man. If they're gonna be around, it's just natural, isn't it? It's natural. But yeah, not the best night out for Becky and Nikki. Although, like I said, I do think people are being a bit dramatic, but I can't blame them because I thought it was a lot worse as well on first watch. And when I actually sat down and tried again, I was like, you know what? It's not good. It's not even average.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't good, but I do feel for Nikki because she is constantly over criticized. I knew while watching this match, I was like, oh yeah, the discourse around this is going to be pretty bad. It's going to be either people over criticizing or people, overstepping to defend her, and it's just ridiculous.
That's what they do, bro. This happens when you're polarizing, divisive. she kind of symbolizes a certain era as well, and it's just
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, man. Sheamus versus Rusev. What they call it? Donnybrook, no DQ. What did they even call this one? I can't remember
Old
what they called this
fashioned
one.
Donnybrook match.
Okay,
All
old
right.
fashioned Donnybrook match. Alright, there was flags everywhere, there was bars, there was all this kind of stuff, whole settings. But yeah, man, Sheamus loves this shit, bro.
He loves
Like
it.
it's mad. Like he's how many years in? 20 odd years into the game now, and his approach to like these no DQs and matches is pretty flawless in the sense of what he does is just make it look as painful as he can. Like he's game to do all the big bumps and get fucking a kendo stick broke over his back, and like he'll do all that, bro. The bumps on the floor, like he'll do all that shit, bro. Like if he's in there to just kind of throw those kind of bombs, the big brawls, the DQs, like the no DQs. Sorry, he loves it, bro. And you're not else. You could see like he was really enjoying himself out there, bro. Like in front of a hot crowd. Sheamus loves wrestling in front of a hot crowd, even if he is beating the shit out of someone, getting the shit kicked out of him. He was enjoying himself out there, bro. And like I said, 20 odd years in, he doesn't look like he's gonna be slowing down anytime soon. Sheamus is the man, bro. Like I can watch Sheamus on any wrestling show, on every wrestling show, and do whatever he wants on these wrestling shows. You get me? Because he's a joy to watch, man. And Rusev did his thing as well. The thing with Rusev though is having a really hard time connecting with the audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
A really hard time. So like, even though he put in a good performance here, had a great match with Sheamus. The feud with Sheamus has been pretty decent. He's not connecting. His character, he is a wrestler, he's not connecting with the WWE audience, which is mad because he did have some credit in the bank coming in. He ain't coming in as like an NXT call up.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really hard time connecting. It's funny because AEW did like a far better job of like pushing and letting Rusev carve out his character with like promos and video packages.
Yeah.
Which again is almost ironic because that's meant to be WWE's bag, whereas WWE's packages and stuff for him and the character emphasis or how they've tried to push his character in WWE he just hasn't landed, bro, at all. And I don't think it's a thing where Rusev has come into WWE and stunk it up. I don't think
No.
that's happened at all. It's just he hasn't connected. And at the end of the day, if you don't connect, your days are probably numbered. You know them ones. So it's a weird situation. So maybe he got the win here. He beat Sheamus on paper.
He needed it.
He needed it.
He needed
So
the big win. Yeah, I mean, you can tell Sheamus, like you said, was having a blast. This kind of matches his style of match in front of a hot European crowd. Obviously, him and Rusev are like real life friends as well. And so I could see coming into this, like Sheamus wanted to have a good match with Rusev, wanted to give him a big win. And in that way, I do think this match worked. I do think it was a very good match.
yeah, it was.
I thought Rusev came across very well here, even the way he won the match with like the big submission. And he, like I said, he needed this. He needed this big win, but he needs something. I don't know what. He just needs like a feud. He needs a storyline or something to really get people invested. I've said that I cannot believe they haven't gone back to this yet. The one that's right there in everybody's face, he should be one of Cena's farewell matches. Why have they not done that yet? Like, it makes all the sense in the world, especially now that John is a babyface again. He should come out and attack him and just be like, hey man, I was on my way to being one of the biggest stars in this company, and you completely derailed that. You completely derailed my WWE run, and now you think you're gonna get this ticker tape parade on the way out? Like, it's right there. You could book an easy story around that. And the problem though is I don't think that John would give him the win on the way out. I do think that Cena probably would win the match. But I think at least you could do something with that, because at least with Cena, you're gonna get the heat on Rusev for jumping him and having some kind of program with him, but they got to do something, because that reaction when he came out, I was just like, well, pretty quiet.
Even
pretty
in Europe,
it's just like that crowd did not care. And I mean, I wouldn't say that the crowd didn't care about the match, but like during his entrance, it was glaring. Like they gave him nothing.
brutal. It's quite brutal. Yo, the shoot bro kick did move me. Can't lie. There was a real shoot bro kick in this match. Sheamus Raw kicked his dome off, bro. It was mad. But yeah, Rusev took it on the chin and he came back. He got the submission victory, huge for him, and hopefully they figure something out for him, man. Because I do like Rusev quite a lot as a performer, and like I said earlier, like I don't think the failures that he's came across during his WWE run so far are his fault, really. Like he's not he's not going out there and having bad matches. His video packages, it's not like it's not like he can't talk. Like we know what Rusev can do. They should know what Rusev can do, and they should know how to enhance it better, But he's just not connecting at the moment, man.
Yeah, I don't think it's saying much, but this is clearly like his best match since he's been back, and they've got to do something to capitalize coming out of this. They got to give him something after this big win.
Yeah, well, hopefully he needs something big. He needs those beloved baby faces, bro. Really, we all love Sheamus, but like, it's different. It's not like if he goes and kills, like, okay, John Cena's an obvious one, but like,
maybe Sami,
Jey Uso, Sami, like people. The affection that these baby faces have with the audience is just a different level, isn't it? To like a Sheamus, who we love, but someone says send him after Cody. Cody would probably do that.
It would be good, but
So
it would be good, but then you put him in a world title picture, and I don't think he's done anything recently to make me believe he should be like the next big challenge.
Another big win, and he beat Sheamus and say then he beats Jey or Sami. Sami's the US title champion now, and he's on SmackDown, obviously. But then you could probably buy it a bit more. But yeah, man, I think eventually that could work. But it's just he needs heat, bro. He needs some heat. Simple as, it's a pretty basic thing. It's a pretty obvious thing. We're not breaking any ground here. We're not pointing out details you might have missed. He needs some heat, man. So we'll see. Like I said, it's kind of ironic that AEW did a better job with the character side of things, like a much better job with the character side of things with him and letting him do his thing. Like, okay, he started off rough with Gamer Rusev, Gamer Miro. Like, he started off rough. But, they landed on something very, very, very... Probably one of the best runs of his career, to be honest. One or two.
Yeah, the Redeemer stuff was incredible.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, man. Really good match, though. Really good match. John Cena versus the Maverick. The Maverick Logan Paul. And, John Cena put in a shift, bro. This is the John Cena that they took from us, for like most of his retirement run. This is the John Cena took from the shift that this John Cena put in. And he didn't do anything groundbreaking here. He's just big match John shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put the work in, put the graft in. He was hitting tornado DDTs. He was hitting other people's finishers. He hit about 5,000 AAs. This is big match John, and he gives the chance to for the crowd to just properly applaud and love him and just get into his shit. And John Cena feeds off that. That is literally what John Cena does. So when you have him be a heel for most of his fucking time and on his retirement run, you're just fighting against all his natural strengths that we've seen in these past two matches, bro. And it's just now we got 8 dates left, bro. Like, it's just although I enjoyed this match and John Cena's effort and how much John Cena got out of Logan Paul, and I guess credit to Logan Paul, he did his thing, even though I don't think Logan Paul's particularly came that far along in the past year or so in terms of his in-ring work and stuff, but it's just the way that John Cena can plug an athletic guy into his big matches. Look, that's basically all he did. You could tell that he was just set up in a way. It's like, okay, now it's your turn to hit me with something, so just hit me with something. Do you know them ones? So it's like that can work for Logan Paul. So basically John Cena carried Logan Paul to a pretty good match, man. And again, I can't believe this is John Cena that they've took from us for these past 6 months or whatever it was, man, because this is the John Cena we always should have been seeing in this year, bro. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's so obvious when you see it as well, man. From it's like even when he first kind of like when on that Friday before the SummerSlam match with Cody.
Yeah.
He just came out. He just cut the promo, and it was just like he just cuts a Cena promo. He basically just comes out and goes, "Yeah, you was right," and just cuts a Cena babyface promo, and it's just like this. This is what they took from us, bro. It's disgusting. Someone needs to be jailed, bro. Like this is not. I don't know, man. We shouldn't forgive him too easy for this. Man said he's got 8 dates left. So what's that like? Two matches, 3 matches, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's brutal. 8 dates.
Yeah.
And John Cena. Anyway.
Yeah. I just feel like, farewell tours usually bring out different emotions in people. I mean, like you see it with the Tanahashi farewell tour right now. And like, for me growing up, like I was never this big Kobe guy. I was never a big Kobe Bryant fan, but like watching him play like his last season, it just was surreal to watch because it's like I've like grown up booing this guy for most of the time I've watched wrestling. Watched basketball. But at the same time, like I respect what he did, what he brought to his career. And it's the same thing here with John Cena. I think even if you don't like John Cena and you just see, like you said, the reaction to him doing that promo on SmackDown, and then like the reaction to him pulling out this like vintage performance against Cody at SummerSlam. It's like, no, this is what you guys should have been doing since Royal Rumble. You should have been really booking him this way and giving people this farewell tour.
So straightforward.
Where people just appreciate him on the way out. You didn't need to overthink this. You could have done a face versus face match with him and Cody at WrestleMania. You didn't need to overthink this, man. But like this, even even coming into this match and the segments they were having on TV where Cena is just like outright cooking this guy, like, God, why couldn't you just be doing this months ago? And like I said, I'm not even this big Cena fan. I've never been this big, huge Cena fan, but like I understand like what the appeal of Cena has always been. Yeah. And this is it. Like him having these big matches on pay-per-views, him showing up and doing the different shirts in every city and getting his flowers on the way out. This is what it should have always been. And this match was way better than I expected it to be. He somehow did it again after SummerSlam match. I do think there was more of them trying to convince us, look how good Logan Paul is, which I do think Logan Paul is talented. I think he's very athletic. But my issue with him is still that it seems like he does a bunch of moves, but he hasn't quite figured out like the in-ring storytelling in between the moves. It just feels like he does a lot of moves, and we're supposed to be impressed by that. And like it is impressive that the guy is athletic and that he can get in a ring with somebody like John Cena and hang with him. But I don't think that he always understands the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah, it's like he sees clips and he's like, I want to do that because he is a gifted athlete. He can do a lot of that, and he is just a very naturally gifted athlete, and he has obviously kind of like for wrestling wise, like he has like a good arrogance about him, in the way that he kind of carries himself in his promos and stuff, even if the content of him is pretty weak.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's kind of a wild thing about it to me as well, that you've got such a natural heel in this guy. He's just naturally unlikable. You've got such a good shtick with him with the influencer stuff, and he hasn't quite figured it out yet. He hasn't quite figured it out as a fully formed character yet, and I think that's kind of the issue with him as well. It kind of feels like he's funny enough, when Bret Hart was like, it feels like a lot of guys on AEW are guys that are just playing wrestlers. That's exactly what I think of Logan Paul. He doesn't feel like a fully formed character. He just feels like a guy playing a wrestler.
Yeah, that's definitely, I'd agree.
And I mean, I don't think that showed as much here, but I think that's mostly because this was like a fantastic showing from John Cena.
It was,
Like
bro.
John Cena was incredible here and pulling out all of these moves, pulling out Code Red again. He pulled out a Hurricane Rana. He pulled out some of his most notable opponents' moves here. Pulled out a Styles Clash, End of Days at one point, Angel Wings. All that stuff was cool. Um, I just wish at times like Logan understood like the times when to like slow down and really like milk it and let the crowd get into it. And those
Yeah,
are
the
the
bits
things,
in between, man.
yeah, and
The
those are the
bits in
things that
between.
John Cena like excels at. And so I do think great crowd for this match. The chants and
Mm.
everything throughout this match were great. I think this match really overachieved because I had no belief that this was going to be that great, but I really enjoyed it by the end. I think it was the right move to just give John Cena the win. Um, I assume that that's building to our big Brock match at WrestlePalooza that I could care less about, but here we are.
They're
Um,
loading up that card as well, bro, and that's for the
yeah,
main event, and it's like, you know, you know, the worst thing as well is, bro, like, even if you like, it's just bullshit, fam, because like, it's not just the fact that they're bringing him back and the controversy that comes with that, but it's like you can't even bullshit me into saying, oh well, you know, they want to move extra tickets or do whatever, or, you know what I'm saying, like. He's came back for the angle at the end of SummerSlam. Hasn't been on a single TV since.
they
So
haven't
that's
done
no extra
anything.
money generated for him or no business sense there. And then he's probably gonna be on like what maybe one TV before WrestlePalooza,
Yeah,
and he's gonna wrestle on WrestlePalooza. And you cannot tell me that Brock Lesnar is going to make any significant difference to how well this pay-per-view performs on ESPN, because I truly do not believe it will. You could have booked any like big Cena match on his retirement run and got a lot out of it. Like, let's,
yeah,
for example, AJ Styles, which I don't know if you've seen it, Phil. Like after on like the
yeah.
post-show
Cena
thing,
basically was like, "It's not happening,"
he insinuated that he ain't wrestling AJ Styles, and that's
which
why he
sucks,
paid homage to him with the fucking, you know, the Styles Clash and some of the other stuff he was
buddy.
doing. And it's just
I
like,
would have
how are we missing out on that, bro?
I would have much rather seen Cena versus AJ in front of this crowd in France than Logan Paul. And I would
Yeah,
much rather see him
obviously.
against AJ than another Brock match. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Um, It's just, you know, we knew he had limited dates, and now we're looking at 8 dates left, and we know one of them's going to be at least one match with Brock and potentially a TV appearance with Brock. So that would take us down to 6 or 7, you know? And it's just like, you know, we got no time to do the AJ feud, maybe. Like, let's squeeze that in, because we all know that maybe, like, Gunther or Braun Breaker is going to be the retirement match, you know? And that's going to need a TV or two to build that. So
Yeah.
we're really looking at maybe, like, 2 matches left for John, you know? That's what we're
Nah.
looking at. And it's like, they cannot give me another bullshit like, okay, you get your Brock thrill, okay, whatever freak needed to see that in WWE. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get your Brock thrill. You can get your Logan Paul thrill for the fucking viral whatever, and Logan Paul can talk about it on his podcast, and he can be
Yeah.
in part of the streamer community and shit. Like, okay, cool. But don't be giving me some next bullshit after this now, because I swear, like, all right.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not trying to
yeah.
crash out over WWE, bro. I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't do this to me, man. Like, don't do this to me.
Yeah, Brock is not gonna do as much as Logan and Cody did. He's not gonna want to do as much in that match. It's just gonna be a straightforward Brock match.
Yeah, he's just suplexes and that. And it's just
Yeah, it's
that's the
gonna
worst
be.
thing about it as well, bro. It's like we just don't need to see that. Like, it's just no need for it. Even
Yeah,
if Brock wasn't, you know, if Brock wasn't named and shamed, you know, if Brock had no controversies, I don't think. Let's say Brock just went away. You know, Brock
yeah,
goes away. That's not a fucking rare thing for him. To say Brock literally just went away for the past 2 years and he wasn't named in this and all that drama and the court case and the blah 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 blah, like, and you know, the Wall Street Journal confirming it was him and blah blah blah. Anyway, imagine he just was chilling doing the Brock thing, out on his farm, counting his money, waiting for the phone call, waiting for those big 8-figure phone calls that he waits for. At this point, I wouldn't need this. I wouldn't need this, bro. I would not need this, even if Brock wasn't divisive as he is now because of real life things, But even though, say if Brock was just away on a normal one, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're doing Cena versus Brock," like he wouldn't move me either. It's not even just because of the obvious things with Brock. It's like I'm just not. I don't need that right now. I'd rather see the AJ match. I'd rather him get, I don't know, a Braun Breaker match out of it. Against one of the young guys. I'd rather him wrestle pick someone from NXT over Femi. Everyone knows I'd want to see that, but anyone, bro. Any of the realistic dream matches, any of them, literally any of them, bro. Like I'd rather watch even Rusev, like you just said. Like that, at least that's productive.
Yeah,
that could be really productive.
Yeah, I feel like the Carmelo match is also right there. Carmelo, of course, mimicked the ruthless aggression promo on NXT. Like that should be one of the last Cena matches as well. Like even if it's just like a one-off on TV, something.
I get why the company wouldn't do it, and I get why a lot of fans wouldn't agree with me. But I'd rather see Melo versus John than than Brock versus John. 100%. Again, it's not exactly a marquee match or whatever, but it's like it could be very productive if done properly. Even if Melo don't win it, And God forbid fucking Melo won that match. That would be huge. That would be huge,
That'd be a big one for him. Do something else. Do something different, man. Like, I don't know.
I think even Cena, saying, but the way he said it seemed like he wasn't exactly fucking ecstatic at the idea of not wrestling AJ. I don't know, but maybe I'm looking into it too much. Cena's a soldier, he will do whatever the boss tells him, and what the boss is telling him at the minute. I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it, Phil. I'm not fucking with it, man.
Well, Cena told us multiple times since SummerSlam, nope, well, they just deal him out and I play. Like, he doesn't go in there and ask for his opponents. He doesn't rock the boat. They tell him what to do. He comes in there and he does it. Then he goes off and does whatever in Hollywood.
Yeah, man.
I died laughing at the end of this when he won the match and he's walking around like really soaking it in. This is his last match in Europe, and the kid from Brussels is front row, and he gives him one last moment. Then he just walks over and like has a tender moment with his wife, and I'm like, yep, got to get to this kid from Brussels, and the second most important person in his life, his wife.
People love the callback to the kid from Brussels, man.
It's so funny, man.
He's got such a recognizable face, that kid does as well. Like, as soon as you seen him on SmackDown, it was like, oh,
there he is
away, bro. But yeah, on SmackDown, he was too busy on his phone, bro, trying to pull up
so funny,
get it for TikTok. I found the TikTok video as well. I found the TikTok video that he posted as well. I got the admin to post it on the WrestlePurists page. Well, yeah, man, he's shout out John, man. He put a mad shift in. So, I don't think he's gonna be able to do that against Brock because the type of match that Brock has, it's not a match where it's like, oh, Cena's gonna, dictate how this match goes. Them ones like it's just like Brock. He's gonna have a Brock match in it. Like,
that's definitely what we're in for. Bro, like, we're definitely in for a Brock suplex finisher spamming move. That's all we're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, man. But yeah, heartbroken about the lack of AJ matches, and just when it hits you, bro. When when they're on the post show, like, yeah, we got 8 dates left. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Then I remember when it was like, oh, he's got like 29, 31, and it's like we just burnt through so many just so we could do like shitty heel promos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You could have did that AJ match earlier this year when he was champion. Yeah.
No, can't have nice things, bro. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like they had 2 huge heel turns this year. Like that were great. Almost all time angle. Well, I'd say all time angles, like all time angle heel turns with Cena, and then the New Day. It's like, and you look how both of those runs have gone. It's like,
bro.
how do you fumble both of those things, man?
Completely shit the bed with that New Day heel turn, man. Just Jesus Christ, completely botched that.
Yeah, to the point where it's just like forgotten. You know them ones. Like people forget how like even the build to it. Like when they did the arguing all the way to the back, and they have like that big argument. Woods and Kofi do, and it's like I think it's like a week or two before they do the big heel turn. Like that was art,
It was great.
bro.
One of the best storylines on Raw at one point. That was for most of last year. I thought they did such a great job of building up to that moment, and then they did nothing with it. Absolutely nothing.
I'd probably go as far as saying up until the heel turn, that's probably the best storytelling they've done this year.
Yeah. I mean, well, that was mostly last year, right? Because the turn was in October.
When was it?
Yeah, the turn was in October.
Okay, in the past 12 months then.
Yeah.
But you can give me that one. Past 12 months.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Big E. He got a great response from the Paris crowd as well. That was awesome to see. He seemed like legitimately taken aback by it.
Yeah, man. People love Big E, bro. It's like the New Day do a lot of ad break promos. I don't know if a lot of you guys obviously probably don't see them in the US, but
yeah, what a waste.
Big E always gets like a crowd chant, or they'll have to say something about Big E to shut the crowd up, you know. But
yeah,
people we love Big E, bro. It's a shame, but yeah, man, at least he's still around, and you know, everyone loves Big E as a personality, and so him still being around, he's definitely a huge bonus for WWE, even if he isn't in the ring. But yeah, man. Next match, then we'll jump straight to it. The main event: Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Jey Uso, CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. I fucking hate 4-ways, man. I hate them, bro. Triple threats, 4-ways. I just hate how like they always for them, like 95% of them are like put together. And they're all like happen in these separate sections, you know. Like I just hate, and they're never like bridged very well, and it's just, you know, the flow is very just kind of disjointed at times, and it's like, I don't know, man. I do like the dynamic that Punk and Knight have, though.
Yeah,
that is something that like. Obviously, they're both doing different things at the moment, but especially obviously Punk's going to be tied up with like the Seth and potentially the AJ Lee comeback and blah 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 blah. But yeah, man, Punk Knight is something I could get into that, bro. I think I've seen a lot of signs over the past few weeks that there is a feud that I could have time for. I feel like they have they just have a good dynamic. They just have a good dynamic with each other, man.
yeah.
But yeah, the match was fine, I guess. Obviously, I'm biased against 4-ways and stuff, so I'm probably not the best person to review this. But you know, obviously the big finish at the end, Becky Lynch slides into the ring as CM Punk. He is about to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins, but not before Becky Lynch slides in, hooded up, covered up, hits the low blow, and as soon as hits the low blow, and you know, like you tell from just like the silhouette kind of thing, just like, oh, it's a woman. I was like, oh shit, it's Becky, because of course, like, you know what I mean, what other woman would it be, you know? And yeah, it was Becky Lynch, and it was kind of like, it was a surprise that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I said, as soon as I saw it as a woman, it's like, oh, it clicked, oh shit, it's Becky.
Yeah.
They're never beating the Death Riders allegations, bro.
Nah,
and everything, like, it was just, they're never beating those allegations.
whoever that account
bro.
was that made like the entrance package with like the Death
The
Riders
Seth Rider,
music and everything. It's so funny, man. Adding Becky
Seth
to
Riders,
it
you know.
is really funny. I thought that they did a lot of like stuff to like push for like the smaller bits in this match. Like the small moments in the match were better than the match on the whole. I mean, even going back to the backstage interview where Seth, of course, has like his ridiculous outfit on with his sunglasses, and Redmond comes up and goes like, "What are you gonna do?" Because Pierce has banished the Vision from the ring. Heyman got, of course, injured in the aftermath of the opening match. So he's got nobody. He's going into this match without all of his guys. And Seth gives this big impassioned promo of how if I can't win this match by myself, then I don't deserve it. And immediately I was like, that man is lying. There's
Yeah,
no
of course,
way.
bro. It's just bullshit.
There's
We
no
knew
way.
we knew it before we even started talking. You know,
Yeah,
I
there's
was
no
like,
way. He gives this whole impassioned promo, and then he puts these ridiculous sunglasses on and walks up, like dusts his cake off in the wind. I'm like, yeah, that guy is lying. Definitely lying. Somebody's gonna help him. And so I'm just thinking the only other person in the world that he trusts, and he's really said this all the way into the build to SummerSlam and the ruse of the century and all this stuff, that the only person he trusts is his wife. Other than Heyman, other than his guys, it's Becky. So I'm just like, maybe it's Becky. But even small things coming in, like Punk doing his entrance, and they had the close up on him, and he's shouting out AJ and Larry during his entrance. I'm like, why do you do that? During the match, and there when Seth sets up the big stomp on the chair, and it looks like he thinks he's got the match winning. He's telling him the whole time, I hate you, I hate your stupid family. I was like, why do you say that?
yeah. So where did that come from?
All of these things where I was like, yeah, Becky's got to be coming because they were landing on pretty heavy. But I thought the execution of all of these things worked really well. It seems like Punk and Seth think these things out pretty far. There are a lot of intentional things they were doing during the match that worked. I thought the stuff with Jay also was very good. Because of course Roman has been telling him all this time, like, yo, stop worrying about everybody else. Stop trying to please everybody else. This is your time. This is about you. You should go in there fighting for yourself to be world champion. So he really went in there with the idea that every man for himself. And of course, he just saw Roman get stretched off. So he took those words to heart. It looks like they're going to set up Seth for the table spot. And he's like, nope, just start super kicking people. And that made perfect sense. And that led to the Seth J stuff out into the crowd. Like you said, I don't think the connective tissue between some of the stuff in the match worked well, but like all of the moments that were supposed to hit, I thought that were good. I thought, like you said, the LA Knight and CM Punk stuff was good. Most of the stuff between Punk and Seth were good. But it was just too many moments where it was just like, okay, these two guys are wrestling, and the other two guys, the other three, whatever, are just laid off in a distance somewhere, and they're just not interacting at all. That stuff doesn't work as well here. But I thought the finish was good. I thought it was a good surprise bringing Becky in. I died laughing immediately when Becky takes the mask off because, of course, they're still riffing off all the bloodline stuff, and you're supposed to believe it's derivative. You're supposed to hate it, and she rips the mask off, and she's just in Punk's face the whole time. And even after the match is over, she's talking the most shit. Seth is basically not saying anything. He's just raising his arms like he did it again, and she's just all in the camera talking shit. We run this business, holding up the belt. He's not holding up the belt. She is. I thought all of that was really, really funny. He is so obnoxious.
It did land. It did land. Like, the way they did it, it did land. Like, it wasn't some horrible finish or anything like that. Like, even though I didn't enjoy the match, like Phil say, like all like the big moment, the big the big reveal, it all landed. So
yeah, she's so great as a heel because she's so obnoxious when she gets into her shit talking bag, and it's so funny to me. Like, and I think people that are like, oh, this is cringy and annoying. It's supposed to be cringy and annoying. They're bad guys. You're not supposed to like them. They're supposed to be annoying.
that's fair. This, like we were saying at the top of the show, bro. Like, obviously now they're on screen together for the first time in a few years, man. Because the first time they tried it under the Vince McMahon administration. The creative behind, like, again, the first and foremost, I think the most important thing, even with the bad creative and even with the bad opponents and shit, it's just the dynamic of trying to be like the on-screen babyface couple that are both the top guy and girl, and everybody's supposed to love them.
It
and
rarely
you're supposed
works.
to be. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, to do that as a thing that, like, that's booked and put on the show that isn't something like, if that happens naturally, then cool, that's a great thing, and you can go with it. But if it's not happening naturally, like it wasn't at that time, because they weren't on screen together or anything anyway. Do you know them ones? Stop Vince just was like, oh fuck it, we're doing this. You know, it's always going to be a rough uphill battle to try get over as the babyface top guy and woman couple that everybody loves and super likable, and it's brutal, bro. So
Yeah,
trying to do that as babyface is tough. This will be very different, I think.
And I mean, I think the other thing about this, as like a big Seth defender, I think the funny thing in all of this is he's been waiting about 4 years to get back to this moment. I mean, when he had the Universal title run at that time and people eventually turned against him, it took him a long time to get back to the spot where he was the number one guy holding the world title again. And one of the things that he's reclaimed in all of this is like, no, I'm going to have my lady by my side. We're running this again. So it makes all the sense in the world for him to come back and go, no. Y'all hated that last time? Now let me bring Becky back out. Let me run that back. Y'all hated it? Okay, let me get out front and center because you're not supposed to like it. And so I think it's different as well. Like you said, having two baby faces and having them as a couple, like they just aren't. If you've watched them on like Up and Down and you've seen how they act together, they're just naturally obnoxious as well. Like when they're doing things like winning the games and like screaming in people's faces afterwards, I'm like, that's it. That's what they should be doing together. They're so much more entertaining that way.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I do. I'm definitely a lot more. I didn't see them together and think, oh no, it was so bad last time. Why are they doing this? It was just like, well, this time around, it should be very, very, like, complete. It shouldn't even. There should be hardly any parallels except for the personnel. Do you know them ones? Like, but obviously, I just struggle with the shows being built around Seth. You know, like. I just struggle with it, bro, because again, like it's not just a creative being repetitive. It's just I think Seth is always got the most credit in the bank when he's either like 1B or the second guy that is fighting from kind of not particularly the underdog, but just not the top guy. When he's the top guy, whether it's a babyface or a heel, and the shows are built around him, I just do not think it works, bro. Then when the creative isn't fucking great at the moment, like it is, and it's super repetitive, and it's not really that dynamic. Of course, Becky being added could add a completely different element to things, But with the form that I think Triple H has been in this year, I'm not too optimistic about that either. Mm-hmm. I just struggle with Seth as the top guy, whether he's a babyface or as a heel. And I just think in 2025, like, there's other opportunities to do other different things, man. Like, we don't need to be doing Seth Rollins as the top guy who you're building all the shows around every Monday and the pay-per-views, and obviously has a huge presence on the pay-per-views, even if he isn't wrestling. Which obviously Seth wrestles a lot. It's not like he doesn't wrestle on base. Like Seth's here. That's the one thing you can never take away from Seth. Even me, bro. And I'm one of the most critical fucking people of him. You know them ones. The one thing I won't take about if he's fit, bro, he's at work. You know them ones. I know Punk tried to do the diss with Becky earlier about how they didn't do the European tour and blah 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 blah. But for the most part, over the past like 15 odd years, bro, Seth has been fucking around. Like he has been around. So that's one thing I'll never take from him. But at the same time, as the top guy, I just don't think it has ever worked. I don't think it will ever work. And I think at 2025, he's just too. There's just other opportunities to do different things, and it's just like one of the things I think is funny. And I'm just gonna throw this out there. I imagine, when I look at this Vision group, you get your Braun Breaker in it, you got your Paul Heyman in it. I was like, for me personally, and my enjoyment of this beautiful sport, I just imagine how much better and dynamic this group would be for me if it was Punk that turned heel instead of Seth Mania. That would have moved me so much more than the past 6 months we got of Seth as the main heel on this show. I struggle with it a lot.
I agree, because I kind of think like one of the last things WWE could do that AEW didn't get a chance to do is Punk in front of this kind of wrestling crowd as a heel. But the issue at the moment is that it doesn't matter what this guy does. That crowd still loves this guy. He can come out and do that punk life segment in Saudi Arabia. He can do like the grovelly punk stuff in Saudi Arabia that I didn't think make him look good. And it doesn't matter. This guy will come out and still get one of the loudest pops of the night. It's unreal. Like the guy, I like. It doesn't make sense to me. Every time he does it, I'm just like, he'll come out and do a promo, and I'm like, that wasn't really it. The crowd doesn't care.
Last time he turned heel, though, it's just
Yeah, it just
he'll make it work, bro. Like I understand those reservations going into it. It's like, oh, they love him too much. It's like, bro,
yeah.
give Punk a couple weeks, yeah, and be like, make this crowd hate, yeah. He's doing it, bro. Like he's just.
And but I think the issue for me at least is the execution of the Seth turn at Mania was really good. But the problem with it is, at least from my point of view as a big Seth lore guy, is it doesn't work in the way that you want it, because we're supposed to buy into Roman as this baby face, and how could he do this to Roman? Everything he did to Roman was justified. He was right. Like everything he was saying in the lead up to that match, he was right. All of this, you can't trust this guy. He's done nothing to win back your loyalty. He was right about that. He was right about everything in the run to Survivor Series. And even him coming back and stealing Paul Heyman away and saying, no, I'm the number one guy. This is all off of the build of the WrestleMania 40 feud of Seth as champion, and he's like, "No, you're number two to me. You're nothing. You're a joke. You shouldn't even be here." He's been shooing this guy off like he's nobody all this time. But in the meantime, you've been ducking a match with him since WrestleMania 2020. Like, yeah, like you keep doing all this stuff like this guy doesn't matter. But in all of the big matches you had with him, you can't beat him. So no, he was justified in everything up to WrestleMania. And so it doesn't quite work in a way that they wanted a heel turn. And then also, you're trying to push him as this main antagonist on TV, but it's built off of a storyline with a guy that's not on TV weekly. You can't build all of this about him stealing all these things that mean something to Roman, and Roman isn't there. So it doesn't matter. You've built all of this around Roman and comeuppance with Roman, and he's not there. You built a lot of his feuds and everything around people that are not there. And I think that's really part of the biggest issue I have with WWE at the moment. It's too much booked around people that are either part-time guys or people that are not going to be here week to week. And I think that's part of what harms the Seth writers, because you have to keep delaying this big match with Roman that we know they're not going to do until a certain point. So every time they do the beatdown angles with him, it's like, okay, we've seen this beatdown. You're not going to get to the fucking point because you can't. You're trying to push this off until Mania or whenever you're going to do this match. And it just doesn't work, man. It's like, you keep pushing this match down the line. You got to get to the fucking firework factory at some point. You got to get to the destination, man.
I guess begrudgingly, to give Seth the benefit of the doubt, it affects like his promo work a lot as well.
Yeah,
because obviously Roman's not there to. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't get to the fireworks the way that you need to. And I'll be honest, bro, like, since Seth has turned heel and became the top antagonist on Raw, the top heel, and he's got this big group, and he's recruited Bron Breakker, he's recruited Bronson Reed, and now he's got Becky Lynch. I don't think Seth has cut one good, memorable promo since turning heel. Not one. And he's fucking opened Raw every fucking week, bro. And it's just like, he just comes out and he has no material really to work with. And granted, if I'm being critical, I think somebody of his experience, of his level, of his experience of being a top guy and being a main event player, he probably should fill that gap a bit better than he has done. But at the same time, like I said, begrudgingly, I'll admit he is quite handcuffed in that department, because it's like he can't really get to the meat of any great promo if the meat's not there to be ate. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not there. So
I mean, just look how long it took them to tell us the name of the group. It took us all the way to this point before they
Division.
finally just called the group division. Um, it just feels like a lot of times he's coming out there and spinning his wheels because we can't get to the destination yet. I thought it was a big missed opportunity, by the way, that you had him come out and interrupt um, the Punk match at Night of Champions. And don't get me wrong, I understand the heat is behind having him cost Punk the match at SummerSlam, and that was all executed very well. But I think the entire idea of him having a vision for wrestling and saving wrestling from all of these guys that are holding it back, it would have made all the sense in the world from the fucking cash in on Cena, the guy that was saying he wanted to ruin wrestling.
Oh, I don't know, man. There's issues, and I think the dynamic of adding Becky to this group will potentially help some of that. But at the end of the day, Roman's gonna be gone now, and I guess it's like, Jimmy came back today on Raw. You got Jay and Jimmy. It's like they're fighting in the honor of the family and for Roman Reigns. And I guess there's something you can get out of that because Jay is also like one of the main characters of Raw, and obviously they're big. So it's like maybe you can get to some more depth now that Roman is indefinitely out of the picture. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can kind of focus on really get into something with somebody else.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Obviously he's doing the stuff with Punk, and we assume AJ Lee's gonna come back.
Yeah, very much.
That'll be the immediate future, WrestlePalooza maybe, and
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see, man. Because again, for me, like I was thinking, he said it since like the start of the summer, bro. Like when Seth would go out there and kind of just spin his wheels in these promos, I'd be like, for me, it was like you've been given such. Again, like it's funny to call it opportunities because Seth has so much credit in the bank and he's already a Hall of Famer and that, ain't it? But like you've been given this huge opportunity of being like the main guy coming out of WrestleMania. You're gonna be the main heel for like the next year or so, and it's just like I feel like you've got another level to go to. You've got another. You've surely there's another level you can go to with this opportunity, like character wise, promo wise, just something. Like I think even as much as I'm critical of Seth, I still think that he has another level or two to go to on this particular heel run. Now, whether he hits that or not will depend on how much I fucking end up slandering him. But like, I do think, like I'm not completely like I'm not blinded by bias. Them ones. Like I do see that Seth has, I do think he has again levels to go to. So hopefully he gets to them.
I think it was a big misstep as well, taking Sammy off of Raw. You set up Sammy as one of his big feuds for this year. He was the guy that was in most of the weekly segments after WrestleMania, and then you just take him off Raw and put him on SmackDown for no apparent reason. I don't know why they did that. I also think one of the big issues with WWE at the moment is, and this isn't a new thing for them, they've always done this, but it's just like everything has to be for a moment. Let's hold this off and book to a moment. And a lot of times it makes like the weekly shows feel kind of inconsequential. Like I think a lot of stuff in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam wasn't very memorable. But they're gonna hang their hat on the fact that, oh well, we did the cash in at SummerSlam and everybody talked about that. It was a big moment. It doesn't matter that his plan didn't really make sense or that we really didn't need to do that. We got the moment out of it. And listen, the moment was great, but I just don't think everything in between has been much to write home about. And I think
it's always been a moment's company, in it, but it's like more so than ever it feels now.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like the way that everything else matters less, if that makes sense. Like the WWE always been a moment's company, even since probably like the Bruno days, bro. Like they've always been about like the big moments. It's the moments company, but again, like now more so than ever, it feels like the stuff surrounded that just matters less and less. As long as they can get the big moment, as long as they can go viral at the end of the show, as long as they can have the hashtag trend at the end of the show or when the big moment hits, it's like they're happy, bro. They're gonna get the headlines. They're gonna get what they need, what they perceive, what they need out of it. So, we get what we get. Where it's kind of like the week to week is gaping holes in it, and we want something a bit more fresh and a bit more creative and a bit more something that we can, you know, praise on a critical level a bit better, you know.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna get like what Phil said, where it's just kind of like the Seth moment at SummerSlam, where it's like all the little bullshit before it. It's like we didn't need all that, you know. we didn't need to see all that. They didn't need to take that route. It didn't really make much sense. And but you know, Seth cashed in on CM Punk after you know what I mean, after 2 minutes, and that is what everyone's gonna be talking about coming out of it. And yeah, that's WWE in 2025, bro. Like that's just what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so AJ Lee, she's coming back, isn't she? Like again, they're teasing us, bro. It's like
Very heavy-handed teasing at this point. I mean, all the stuff with at the end of the match where uh Punk gets out of the ring and stomps that table, and then the fan in the crowd had to sign it up with "Bring AJ back," and they made sure to have the camera on him when he draws attention to the sign. Um, Obviously, Biggie also just straight up said he has a wife on the post show. I don't think they would be doing any of that if they didn't want us to believe that there's a very good chance of AJ coming back. I know, like, you know, they've also teased the Rhea thing tonight on Raw that it could be her. Bailey has been doing some tweeting in this, and of course, like Bailey seems to be really cool with Punk in real life. That would make sense as well. But with all of this hinting and teasing, it would be fairly disappointing if they went either one of those routes and didn't bring back
gotta be
AJ Lee.
Lee, bro.
It
Gotta be
can't.
AJ. Yeah, it's on top of all that. Yeah, it's just the fact that the fact that they're still doing the Punk and Seth stuff. Do you know them ones? And it's like, bro, this better be worth it. And AJ Lee come back is that'll you get me. That'll fill my belly for a bit. But it's just like. Yeah, it's just gotta be AJ Lee, bro. It just has to be.
And I mean, even if this is just like the one-off to do the mixed tag match, or if we do potentially get Becky versus AJ Lee on a pay-per-view or something, it would be worth it. Like, it would be worth continuing this Punk Rollins stuff if we get that out of this.
Yeah, man. So the fans want her back as well. Like, she's always had like it's not exactly like the Punk level. Like, we no need to like lie to ourselves about it, but it's like there definitely has always been like a nice bubbling of like demand for AJ Lee and their fans wanting her to come back. And like yeah, it is 2025, you know, but I think also with Punk back in WWE now, like the fans are just never gonna drop it until she shows up, bro. So it's like just, let's do it. I think it's really cool that there is actually demand for a woman that's been gone for so long. I don't think there's ever been a woman in at least US wrestling history that's ever happened for. So that's really cool. And obviously, if, you know, AJ Lee's like she's stayed in great shape over the years, you know. So it's like I think, and she has a great mind for it. Do you know them ones? So it's like, I think she'll be able to slot in pretty well. Obviously, if she's rusty, that'll be very understandable as well. But yeah, it's got to be AJ Lee, man. And as Phil said, bro, they're quite heavy-handed with the teasing, and most people may have noticed this by now. But I guess until they started, I guess realizing that this is a real possibility that's going to happen. Like with Punk's run so far, they've definitely like stayed away from like trying to get any hope up about AJ Lee. Really, you know, like Punk will get asked about it in some interviews or something, and he'll answer the question, you know. But in terms of like on screen and shit like that, and like the signs and blah blah blah, like they never pay any. Like they very deliberately don't pay any attention to that. And as Phil's just mentioned, like they very deliberately did on Sunday and even just now on Raw with the you know, with what Punk said to Becky before he left the ring about like, you know, you're gonna regret putting your hands on me and da da da. So
I don't think they would draw attention to any of those things if there wasn't a real chance he's coming back. Like, again, to have Punk mic'd up coming to the ring, and you can clearly hear him saying AJ and Larry on the way to the ring, and then Seth in the match telling him, "I hate your stupid family." Like, I don't think they would do any of that if this wasn't leading AJ.
All of it. There's probably been hints on commentary that we fucking missed as well because I love those
Yeah,
as well, don't
I
they?
mean,
You know, those little Easter eggs and shit like that. There'll probably be a lot of that over the next couple of weeks.
yeah, and Becky's way too smart during this segment today to, I mean, every time that crowd started the AG Lee chant, she would play into it every time. She would not do that if there wasn't something to this.
There was something I wanted to address because it kind of, where is it? This is about the Seth Riders thing and Becky. Because two people asked this, that's why I started. Where did the Tony D'Angelo stuff come from? All right, so basically, obviously Tony D'Angelo got killed off on NXT, and
Yes.
like he's gone. He's gone. We don't know what happened to him. You get me? So it seems like he's done in NXT. So obviously there's that like kind of natural assumption that some people will throw out there. But he also posted a picture on the day of in Paris. Like he was in Paris, you get me? So
Yoked up.
obviously, yeah, people were like, "Oh shit." Like, you know, why is he in Paris? Do you know what I mean? There's no NXT show in Paris. Like, why is he in Paris? What we're doing in Paris? You know.
Oh god.
So maybe he's on the road with the main roster now. Maybe that's what's actually gone on there. But yeah, he's not a member of the Seth Riders.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, man. Shout out Tony D, though, man. And there was
Villa
another
Park's
one.
own.
Here we go. Riffing. Women's wrestling has outgrown the need for AJ Lee years ago. Like, need is obviously a very strong word. Do you know what I mean?
Nah.
Need is a very strong word anyway. It's like there's very little people you can say that about any division anywhere in the world, you know. But people want to see it, bro. Like the chants today, the signs in the crowd over the whole time Punk's been in WWE. People want to see it, bro. And like I said, there's always been kind of like a nice bubbling of demand for her for like what 10 years. Like it's been a long time. Been a long time. So the fans are never gonna drop it, bro. So of course there's a need. Do you know what I mean? If the fans want it, there's a need. Do you know them ones? In the sense of like, do I think she's gonna come back to WWE and be one of the top women and take the division to new heights? Like, no, I don't think she's gonna have a little Legends cameo run match or two.
No. Yeah, I
and
don't.
just yeah. And
Yeah, I
that's what
don't
it'll
think
be.
this. I don't think this is leading to her like wrestling full time. But like, if you're talking about like one of the biggest names from the Divas era outside of Nikki Bella, like, nah. Like, and just the idea of what they could do with the women's rumble this year. I mean, like possibly having
Oh shit,
Nikki
yeah.
in there and possibly having AJ in, and then you've got also Saray out there. Having all of them from the Divas era potentially in this rumble is a pretty big deal.
100%. I think that's I think Saraya in the Rumble's almost like you got to nail that on, man. No,
Yeah.
it's like, again, it's like I'm not the biggest like Saraya fan or anything. I
Because I
do
mean,
think I do think a lot of the fan base in AEW were quite harsh on her, to be honest.
yeah,
But
well,
I could also see where they were coming from in terms of where the division was going. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I think the issue with Saray, and she's admitted this since then, is that she just kind of came in, and I don't think she really took it seriously. Like she didn't get into in ring shape. It didn't seem like she really worked to like knock that rust off in that time. I don't think it was a horrible run, but I definitely think she could have done better with it. And I do think like the women's rumble has been pretty consistent. But since that first one, they really don't have the surprises that they could have had because they've really done most of them. But coming into this one and being able to do like a lot of Divas era wrestlers that haven't done it yet, I think that would be pretty big for this upcoming Rumble. I hate that it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, but still, just the
Oh,
idea of like those
don't
names in it
remind
is
me, bro.
pretty
That's
big.
what, Sammy's winning the men's one though. You know them ones. So every time I'm reminded of the Saudi Rumble, that's gonna be my copium. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's definitely some big opportunities with the women's Rumble this year, especially if AJ Lee is jumping back on the court that we think she is. I hope she is. I'm very interested to see how that mixed match goes, and I'll genuinely be quite excited to see her and Becky.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, good shit, good shit. I thought overall the show was all okay, you know. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was terrible at all. To be honest, I didn't think it was terrible one bit. Um, you know, the Seth Riders doing their thing. Like I said, they're never going to beat the allegations, bro. And obviously, the close of the big angle, and they got the big moment and the headlines with the Becky stuff, and it's what's our thumbnail today, and do you know them ones, like they got what they need out of it. Cena put an absolute shift in, bro. That was a good time. The Donnybrook match was a good time. Becky and Nikki was quite unfortunate, but I didn't think it was a complete disaster like some people do. But if you do, fair enough. Roman versus Bronson Reed was okay. The Wyatt versus Profits was just kind of there, you know. So it was an alright pay per view overall. It had some pretty decent highs, you know.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think
man.
the thing
Paris
that
did
worked
their
with
thing.
the same thing worked here that worked with Evolution is that it was less of the stuff that they do during the pay-per-views all year where it's like constant ad breaks and like constant filler and all this other stuff that I don't care about. I do think some of the matches dragged. I think you probably could have cut the time on some of these matches and added one more match here. Like, I just don't understand the decision to not just have EO versus Stephanie Vaquer on this show. To not put the
WrestlePalooza, bro.
yeah,
ESPN, bro.
I mean, just to not put what
All
at
out,
least
bro.
it's the decision to not at least put one of the main women's titles matches on this card is a real head scratcher. And I think that they had enough time that they could have cut some of these matches down and put one more match here, and it would have been fine. But overall, I think it was a solid pay per view. Like you said, I don't think it was great by any stretch, but I think it did what it was supposed to do. Had an electric crowd. It had the moments that they wanted out of it. So it was fine.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty good show. I didn't have a terrible time watching it or anything, you know. So, but yeah, man. Something I guess a couple stories coming out of it, you know. But yeah, WWE Clash in Paris. The last John Cena's last European date was yeah. He went on Raw tonight, was it? Not coming back for the rest of the year, and yeah, man. So we'll see, man. AJ Lee, we'll see how long it takes for her to come back.
You think we're getting it on Friday in Chicago?
Maybe. I think it is better if they do it like as soon as possible instead of like say if it is a WrestlePalooza thing, they do it on like the go home for that. Like nah, I'd just get some TVs out of it. I guess to your point about like obviously I think I do actually agree that it would be, especially with how strong like how deep the women's division made a lot more sense. I think it would have been great to have another women's match on this show, especially one of the world title matches. But I think when watching this weekend, when you watch the Sami Zayn title win on SmackDown, it's like, why was this not on the pay per view, bro? You know,
that is a calling card of this year of Triple H's booking. That's his big go-to is to do title change on TV. He's done so many of them this year. Right before the pay-per-view, title change on TV. He did it with EO earlier this year. He did it with the tag titles this year. He did it here. That's his big go-to move, man. Title change on TV.
He loves it, man. But yeah, when you're watching it in the moment and the way that obviously the French crowd like fucked with Sami and like the moment of Sami winning and it kind of catching the crowd off guard. Do you know what I mean? Like it kind of shocked him in the moment. Yeah. Like, oh, this should have been on the pay, man.
Yeah.
It should have been on the pay per view. But yeah, that is definitely one of Triple H's. He always puts one of the title matches that in theory probably should have been on pay per view on that SmackDown or the Raw in it. So, but obviously, like you said, he's done a few title changes in that spot. So, but yeah, man. Obviously, Triple H does his cards the way he does his cards now, innit? So, like, he won a bad show anyway. So I don't want to sound like I'm fucking bitching and moaning. So,
yeah.
Excuse me. All right, let's do a couple of super chats, people. Get them in if you've got any questions or anything, because we do have a few built up. But yeah, now that we're moving on from the Clash in Paris review, let's alright. Hi Chief 199, appreciate you. Smashing Machine fire emojis, Oscars here we come, Dave John. Listen, bro, Dwayne is putting in an all-time Oscar campaign run right now. You get me? You see the videos of him earlier, Phil?
He's like tearing
crying.
up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gets a standing ovation at one of the screenings of the Smashing Machine, and he's just there like tearing up, crying in his suit and that.
He slimmed
He's
down, seemingly like.
yeah, man. He's slimmed down. He's you know what I'm saying. He's on a keto diet. he's he's doing his thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is
I will say that the trailers for Smashing Machine look pretty great. At
yeah.
first, I was like, what's all this hype? And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, man, no, this actually looks really good.
Yeah, man. Hopefully they can kind of.
Yeah, but we're not getting that
He lived
Roman
a
match.
mad life. He lived a mad life, Mark Cody. So
Yeah, we're not getting
yeah.
that. We're not getting that
Well,
Roman match. It's not happening.
yeah, that's not happening, bro.
It's
That's
not
not happening.
happening.
I think that's been obvious since like it's been obvious for a minute now, isn't it? Let's be real. You know,
Yeah,
it's just copium. It's just hopium
yeah,
that we're gonna. Like, that's it's just not happening, bro. Like
yeah.
it's just not. Bro, I'm. Are we even gonna get the Jacob Fatu match? You know them ones.
I don't know what Roman's doing at WrestleMania, man. I at this point, I'm not sure. It could be the Seth match.
Wow,
I don't know,
we're just talking about Sami Zayn's title win.
bro.
Sami Zayn winning the US title when everyone thought it made the most sense for him to win the World Heavyweight title from Seth Rollins at
Yeah.
WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble. But the chat, the streets, this timeline are saying that the big dog, the tribal chief, Roman put some political calls in. That's the accusation. It's not the report. It's not a report. It's an accusation. You know them ones. But there's a lot of Roman Reigns politician discourse that was going on after Sami Zayn won that US title because of what I just said. You know, because it didn't make all the sense in the world for Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi and then beat Seth Rollins and finally win the World Championship like he's mentioned a few times this year. It's what we all want to see. We'd love to see that. Except for those weird Sammy Hogan people. Those fucking those mutants. I'm not sure are real people.
Very,
But anyway.
very weird crowd that is upset that Sammy beat Checked Notes Karrion Cross. It's Solo Sikoa. Like, you guys cannot be serious. You're upset about that. I mean, to be fair, I think some of this also started when they didn't just give Gable the win over Gunther at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
mutants,
at this point,
bro.
yeah, to act like,
Mutants.
well, what even makes Sammy an underdog at this point? Like, bro, the guy still loses a good amount of
all the time.
He's not been world champion on the main roster yet. Like, come on.
Yeah, now with Sammy winning the US title, I think it's fair. Like I said, like the discourse being around Roman, it seems like Roman might be getting that Seth match at Mania. We've already kind of mentioned it on this show, so maybe that's the direction. And it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not sure to make of that. The idea of Roman also possibly winning a Rumble and like finally getting back to this point where, as a baby face, people would want him to win the Rumble, and it's not going to be in the United States. That's really funny when you really think about it.
Come on, man. Sometimes that's just how things, line up in life. It's just a Rumble in Saudi.
Oh man.
Anyway,
Bro, like if you think about like all of the goodwill that they've started to build and just how over Roman Reigns is now, like that guy winning a Rumble would get a pretty loud reaction from some people, man. Like the reaction that he did not get 10, almost 11 years ago now. It's not going to be in the U.S. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. That would be really funny.
I'm not even reading this from that. £2 doing a I don't know. I think they're just carrying on the Jericho beat from last week, bro.
Oh,
we're not doing the Jericho shit here, man. We're not doing it.
Oh no.
There was too much. There was like 50 minutes of like Jericho-ness on last week's Worldwide. I was quite ashamed, but Anna and Ibu went into business for themselves. You know what I mean? But yeah, they're whatever. What's this? The Alpha Artist $2. The Oscar speech in Vegas main event in 2026. Come on, bro. We ain't getting We ain't getting
We're not getting both. We're not getting both.
We might get the Oscar because I feel like, bro, this campaign is strong. He's
pushing, bro.
Yeah.
He's pushing for this Oscar, dog. He did the whole transformation and everything, and like, nah, he's it.
Bro, I've never seen anything like it, you know.
What a guy, man. Tried to get him out of here.
DiCaprio was on this. You know them ones, like, this is crazy. Crazy.
Tried to get him out of here for the DCU stuff and all of the Black Adam stuff, and he ran him away from blockbusters, and it's not doing the popcorn movies no more. And now he's doing a serious indie style movie.
A24, Scorsese. Hey man,
what a guy!
You got to that point where he's just like, listen, it's not about the money. It's about the legacy. It's about the
love of the game, bro.
He needs those trophies in his cabinet. You get me? You can't have an empty trophy case when it's all said and done. Dwayne needs that, bro.
Nah,
the bank account's not enough. But yeah, man, Dwayne's putting in a crazy campaign right now. GMP 199. Chills when Rock wins. And why are all our super chats about Dwayne winning an Oscar, bro?
Can't wait, bro.
Chills when Rock wins an Oscar before Batista. Yeah, that's actually crazy when you think about it. But Batista's never had those sort of roles, though, has he? Because he's not the ticket seller that Dwayne is. So he's not going to get like those big leads the way that Dwayne can just be like thrown in as a lead in A24 or Scorsese, whereas Batista's not going to get that sort of opportunity, is he?
I think he could eventually, because I do think he's a very good actor, but he hasn't been in the movie yet to really campaign for an Oscar. I mean, also the idea of The Rock being on a Oscar stage, accepting a statue. And he's not going to be the guy in this decade that goes up on a stage and slaps somebody in the face. It's also very funny.
Hey, man, you never know.
It's at time, you know. Still got time. He could also slap someone as well.
You might run an angle, you know.
That's where the payoff to the Roman angle will be.
He cuts a promo on DCU. Like, he's out here, man. Alright, so yeah, shout out Dwayne. Here's another Dwayne. So long, final boss. I'm gonna miss you, buddy. Hey, man.
Yeah, well, he told us in that Pat McAfee interview. Yeah, listen, man, they don't need me. They don't need the final boss, man.
Final boss was never the same ever since he completely buried it on fucking the Netflix debut.
Yeah, that's when I knew for sure it was over.
He tried to bring it back, and I'll be like, the promos were okay or whatever, you know. Like, it's not like he completely stunk it up, but it's just like he never got the magic back. Like, once you do you know that once you let it out the bottle, you can't get it all back in. It was one of them, like.
Yeah, then he did
the
that.
Final boss was special, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know,
he did that really weird NXT promo as well.
Oh yeah, when he was blatantly like drunk.
Completely tried to go overtime, and they're like, "Bro, we're on regular TV, bro. We're not on cable. You can't do that over here. The news is coming on."
Dwayne, oh god, that Oscar's it's gonna hit hard though. I'll get content out of that.
Terramana, baby.
It's Luger 199. Can't tell me the same person who's booking EO and AJ. Yeah, man. There's been obviously I'm not sure how much of it you've seen today, but there was a lot of kind of like story progression with like the whole EO, Rhea, Asuka, Kyrie, like that whole situation earlier. I think we did a tweet about it. Like, Asuka was in like 3 segments. She had a match, and obviously she won said match as well.
Yeah.
So she's obviously like quite a big part of Raw today at the moment with this, with this EO in the middle of this kind of. It's interesting, really, because you've got like, you've got like the Kabuki Warriors are being like weird with like EO, you know, but like Kyrie's like reluctant and in the middle of it. You know, and it's like Rhea and EO are becoming like closer, but Asuka has a problem with it. So like EO's like in the middle of that. So it's like it's just like they're telling it's quite nuanced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's nothing genius or anything, but like there is there's a lot of thought to it. Hence why we get super chats like this. Do you know them ones like? And then
Mhm.
AJ is just like lose to Dom lol. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
chase
Oof.
Dom around for fucking ages and then lose to him
I
lol. Like that's AJ's creative recently.
I don't know what the hot take is. I don't know whether this is a hot take or not. Um, they've completely mishandled this Rhea run for like the past year. I think they've
Probably.
completely mishandled it. Um, and I think in the midst of them mishandling it, they've really bumped into something with this EO run. It really fell in their lap. I think they had something really special with EO's win on Raw after Elimination Chamber, and then the win at WrestleMania and everything that did for her, like showing her parents in the crowd. Like they really had something there. And then they didn't book her well as champion at all. It was so surprising that they
It was so
didn't.
weird as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so I just don't see how you don't just put the belt back on EO at WrestlePalooza. Like I just don't see how you don't. Like I think you'll have time to go back to Stephanie and put the belt on her, but you've got something so interesting with her and Asuka. It makes all the sense in the world to put that belt back on EO and then like do her versus Asuka coming up at a big show, or even do like her and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors at some point. But the money here is to put the belt back on EO.
I think that's definitely one of the fair assumptions. And then the other one would be, well, you know, Stephanie's going to win the title because EO, the Kabuki Warriors are going to somehow fuck over EO, and EO and Rhea are going to tag team against Asuka and Kairi. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, but is that really how you want Stephanie to get her
no, I'm
big
just saying like those are
first
the two.
win on the main roster?
What you've just said, and what I've just said are kind of like the two
Yeah,
directions that most people are going to assume at this point. Um, I'm not sure which way I'd go. I'd kind of have to see how the rest of this, like how they tell the rest of this story with Rhea and EO and Asuka and Kairi over the next few weeks, and see how that
yeah.
actually develops. Because if you can't tell people, like my faith in WWE creatively at the moment, even when they do good things like this, it's like I try not to get naive with it. It'll get my hopes up, or think they're gonna tell this
It's-
elaborate, great story. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they'll do some bullshit angle next week.
The
Like
yeah the thing that's
so.
worrying at the moment is you can kind of tell when the wrestlers are like really trying to put a lot of work into getting a storyline popular, and like I think that happened to a degree with the New Day stuff from last year, where the New Day were doing a lot of stuff off screen and on Twitter that got people interested in that storyline. And it kind of feels like the same thing is happening here, where even Oscar doing the stuff on her YouTube channel, which she never does that. Most of the stuff on her YouTube channel is usually just like the vlog stuff, like her
Yeah,
cooking
it's
or like the
completely
video game
separate.
stuff.
Yeah.
But recently she's been doing more of like explaining like the storyline, explaining her motivation on her YouTube channel, which is really feels like Oscar and EO want this match. They want this feud. And like I said, that's worrying because that whenever WWE is fully on board with something and the wrestlers are trying to get it over, doesn't always work out well.
Yeah, they tend to ruin a lot. So
Yeah.
let's see how that one plays out though. But yeah, man, I appreciate the super chat. Ibu, he's got the day off today. He's got the day off, but he'll be back. He'll be back probably tomorrow. Actually, I need to actually talk to him. But 199. Appreciate you, brother. For my second favorite, Phil. Who's your first, bro?
I for a second when I saw that, I was like, wait, is that the real Ibu? Is this like a parody account?
Nah, it's the real Ibu. None your business. 93. That's his at. But yeah, that's the real Ibu. There's been a lot of fake Ibus in these live chats over the years. I
Yeah.
can't lie. Well, that's the real Ibu right there. Gulag Boy 199. Thoughts on Chelsea's transfer window? Come on, you Spurs. You know what? Let me set a timer for 1 minute. I would give Chelsea's transfer window for the summer going into the 25-26 season a 4 out of 10. I think we did well with the attacking options.
Mhm.
I've never been a big fan of Nicholas Jackson. I think he's an absolute fucking scrub. Please get him out my club. We've finally done it. We got a nice fee for him. We got a £15 million loan fee for him. Then we're gonna get a potential obligation to buy for 55. That's 70 mil for Nicholas Jackson, bro. Are you fucking mad? Um, so I think that kind of set the trend for our outgoings. To be honest, I think we've done really well with the outgoings. I think that's kind of been the biggest highlight of our window because incoming in the two strikers at the start of the window, Delap and João Pedro. Obviously, João Pedro can play the 10, play multiple positions. He was a great signing. Um, but yeah, there's a Club World Cup. I think we really slowed down, man. Like, I'm not a big fan of Gittins. I'm not a big fan of Garnacho, so I don't like our left wing options. Um, What else? We didn't get a centre back. We didn't get a goalkeeper. Maresca made it pretty clear that he wanted a centre back. So, we didn't get what we needed, but we did make some nice signings and we did some really good outgoings, but still below average, 4 out of 10. So that's my thoughts on Chelsea's transfer window. And I think the last two or three transfer windows, transfer windows under Maresca, I think the sporting directors have failed Maresca, to be honest. And I've tried not to be too reactionary with that take because people have been saying it for like a year, but I think they failed Maresca, and it's a shame. So we'll see how it goes this season. The other Mikey V, $2. Thoughts on the Power Rangers story for hologram? That is the type of I said this on Twitter, but this is the type of pro wrestling bullshit I can get behind. You know, fucking hologram gets to 30, 31 wins, whatever it is, and then the lights go off, and the fucking, you know what I mean, and like it goes all red, and like it's like Klon has arrived, and it's like, oh my god, he's got the evil twin, either the evil twin, or it's gonna be like his other personality, or you know what I'm saying, like it's gonna be something like that. So, um, I'm all for pro wrestling horse shit like that, you know.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Especially when it's not like the main event guy or some shit,
No.
you know. Like this is just, especially on Collision in the 2300 arena. It's like, ah, it's cool. Like, fuck it, man. I'm down to see where this goes.
Yeah, this is right up Tony's alley. This is straight out of a lot of things that we know he's fans of. This is definitely something WCW would do. It's a very lucha storyline as well, and kind of making this a fixture of Collision as well. This is what I want Collision to do. You got to do things that are unique to Collision that make people want to tune in for this. So, like having all the hologram stuff on Collision has always been appealing to me, but like giving him like almost his own universe over there with like a antagonist coming in makes a ton of sense.
AEW Sonic and Shadow. Come on, man. Hey man, I fuck with it, bro. Like I said, yeah, I
Yeah,
fuck with it, man. GMB, the original GMB, 199. I miss Bianca, but her on Road Dogg show, yuck.
yeah.
Yeah, man. SmackDown's not a great show, bro. But I do
Mhm.
miss Bianca. It's crazy that this finger injury's had her this fucked up, you know.
Yeah. She's been out of the title picture for too long. I've been saying it like even when she was there and still in the tag division with Jade and then Naomi. Like, man, I miss big match Bianca, man. Like they got to get back to it when she comes back. I have to assume maybe that's the reason Tiffany is still champion and that's why Jade didn't beat her. Like maybe this is leading to Bianca being the one that beats her. I also have to assume that they're turning Jade heel, right? Because yeah,
I don't trust anything to do over there, to be honest, on that show. So anything could happen over there. But yeah, I agree with your general point. Bianca, we need to get her back. We need to get her back straight in the title picture as well because it's been too long.
way too long.
Way too long. Bianca's like one of the best assets they have, bro. Like straight
Yes,
up. So,
yes.
um, Triple H will never beat certain allegations because I don't think he's done very well with Bianca. Like,
No,
and it's like, how do you not do well with Bianca Belair, bro? She's fucking like I said, she's one of the best assets, not just in WWE but just in all of wrestling. Like, what an asset to have on your roster, Bianca Belair could be. You know, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. Even Vince saw it, bro. Like Vince literally was booking a lot of Cena. You know them ones. Like even Vince saw it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Um, I don't know. We got another super chat though. Quickly, Sonic 5993, $5. Appreciate it. I don't see how you justify putting the belt back on Rhea when, while she's a major figure on Raw, Io's a central figure right now.
Yeah. EO has been to me one of the best wrestlers in the entire industry. She's had incredible matches all year. I mean, even earlier in the year when she was in a chase for an Intercontinental belt, she was having great matches. Like, nah, you got to put that belt back on EO, I think.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will complain. We love Io so much, bro. Like she has such a she's in such a good place with the audience. I think at the moment, like she has such like so much like goodwill. Do you know what I mean? Like she's just very much adored by the WWE audience at the moment. They're very happy to see her. She's good vibes. You know, it's just yeah, they love her, man. She's a very good person to build around. But yeah, just quickly before we get out of here, talk about Death Before Dishonor. Some highlights from there. So I'd say like the main highlights would be just to go in order. The Sammy Guevara heel turn. He turned his back on the idea the Sons of Texas, turned on the Von Erichs. He's I guess an LFI member now. You know,
Very funny. I was saying
unhinged. Just
I was saying Grapsity is very funny, considering one of his most notorious backstage incidents at this point that he's in LFI. I would have never guessed that would be the turn of events after that day, but here we are.
Hey man, it's just what they're going on in it. And I saw a lot of people pointing this one out as well, like Sammy in LFI with Mortos is wicked business. I
Oh,
guess if you if you know kind of what
oh
the
no.
backstory assumption is there, then you know them ones. I'm
Oh
sure a lot of this
no.
chat is aware of that. So, but yeah, like it's just wild, bro. But yeah, man, he's surprised. Sammy's surprise tag partner, which we knew he was gonna have going into it. Like he had a surprise partner. But he ended up picking Roosh, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, funnily enough, though, I actually thought they had pretty decent. Like it worked pretty well as a tag team in the match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I,
so
I,
yeah,
I think
see
it
where that
worked
goes.
because Sammy was already getting booed earlier in the night from the 6-man match. And so by the time you got to the turn, the crowd was already booing him anyway. So it just made sense.
But yeah, we'll see where that one goes. It's not really it's not going to be something top of my list. You know, the 2025 heel Sami Zayn run with LFI. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it gets him a few collision tag matches. You know them ones, but we'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see.
maybe
We'll
so.
see. We'll see. We'll
I
see.
think he fits with LFI too. Like with the character stuff he was doing before he went back to Jericho. Remember when he was doing like that almost like Scarface thing and he was wearing the suits?
I do,
Yeah, and so
unfortunately.
so I just think with like him wearing suits and stuff and being next to those guys, I think it makes sense.
You know, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. You know, but yeah, Sammy Guevara is now heel again. I thought Lee Moriarty had a very solid, very good, strong showing. He's had a very good, he's had like a good year, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
He's
quietly. I
had, he's
think
had a
he's had
strong,
a
yeah, because
great
he
year.
went really quiet, didn't he? He went really quiet for a couple of years, man. It was quite unfortunate to see because
Yeah.
he had so much. He was like one of the hot young indie talents at one point. Do
Mhm.
you know them ones where it was like he was earmarked for big things, you know, and then he came into AEW and it started pretty solid, and then it just really like just petered off. And I guess in 2025, this ROH Pure title run that he's been on having, and granted, exactly, he's not exactly having this run in front of the most eyes, you know,
Mhm.
but he's having it, and that's what matters, you know. But like I
Yeah.
said, I thought he had a good show and good performance here against, excuse me for botchy, but Xiao Hua. Xiao
Yeah.
Hua.
I think it's
Xiao Hua.
Xiaohua.
Xiao Hua.
I
Xiao
think that's
Hua. Xiao Hua. Lee Moriarty versus Xiao Hua for the ROH Pure title. I got that one in the end. But yeah, I thought it was a really nice match, man. I thought they played to the rules really well, which is always something that I'm looking at for a pure title match. You know, obviously the story of the match was kind of leaning on the rope breaks and taking advantage of those, and of course the finish coming when there was no rope breaks left in Lee Moriarty's favor. And yeah, I think they just wrestled a really nice pure title match, one of the best pure title matches I've seen. In a hot minute, I guess. In a hot minute, it was really well. It was a proper pure title match, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah, I think he, like you said, he's had a really great year. Like the Blue Panther match this year as well, and some of the other matches he's had up leading up to this point. I think he's had a really good run. Like I hope people are paying attention. He's doing fantastic.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it continues. Hopefully he gets some more chances on like TV as well. If like, because otherwise, like, what's the point? Do you know them ones? Like, if you're gonna get okay, cool. You get a little opportunity with the pure title. We know that isn't exactly the biggest opportunity in the world. Do you know what I mean? But it's still an opportunity, and it's one that I guess Lee Moriarty right now is getting as much as you possibly can out of one. You know, so I think that should lead into. I don't know if that leads into like STP getting a few collision bookings where he can show his shit off, or if he gets a few single matches like he was getting at the start of his AEW run where he was kind of thrown in there as the young guy to like have decent matches. But we'll see, man. Rooting for him. And yeah, the chat saying Xiao Hua is 21.
Wow,
it's a baby, man. But yeah, he's very talented guy as well. Bandido versus Hechicero. This was the big takeaway from the show. I think like everyone was talking about 36-minute match of the year contender is what most are calling it. I think it is done. I think it deserves to be. I think it deserves that label. To be honest, I watched it again earlier, and one thing about it, like I said, 36 minutes, bro. And as a lot of you guys know, I can't deal with all that. You know, I'm always happy to point out when a match is too long, when it goes past its peak, etc., etc., etc. But this was paced so well. It was paced so well. They built to the big spots when they happened really strongly. It just built properly. It escalated the way that it just felt it escalated like naturally almost. But yeah, the big spots felt well placed when they happened, well built when they happened. The suplex on the barrier on the outside, that helicopter spot off the apron, and things like that. There was the point in the middle, like towards on the latter side of the match, where like they do the shoot headbutts, and like the crowd like winces and then just bursts into Ring of Honor chants. One thing that's I think it stands out pretty much in all of Bandido's performances is how well he plays to his audience. He's so good at playing up the crowd, working the crowd, giving the crowd what they want to see. Even to the point where like he can play, he just naturally plays off anything that they give him. You know, so like when he had that moment in the match where he rips Hechicero's mask back because Hechicero did it to him earlier in the match, and the crowd's like, wait. And start booing him, like, what are you ripping his mask for, man? And he kind of looks at the crowd like, well, what do you want from me, man? Like, do you know what I mean? And he's so good at like connecting with the crowd and like kind of, and it's mad as well because it's not like he can use his face, like facial expressions. You know, obviously he's wearing a mask, but a lot of lucha guys, like you can see the eyes pretty clearly, you can see the mouth pretty clearly, etc., etc. Bandido cannot use his face at all to, you know, conveys emotions or anything. Yeah. You know, it's just all just like shaking his fist to power up, the way that he sells, this overall energy in the ring and stuff. So you can tell he's a very well-versed, experienced wrestler at this point, you know. And he's very, very high level, bro. And those Wrestler of the Year shouts are getting louder and louder, man. Like, because I think you mentioned earlier, like what a run he's having, man. Like he's had a mad summer. Like he's had a great year, but this summer has been unbelievable.
And incredible year, man. Like I mean, it's hard to keep him out of that conversation at this point for Wrestler of the Year. He's had so many excellent matches this year. He's on a great run as Ring of Honor World Champion. Might be my favorite World Champion at the moment. Like, I mean, when you compare him to like other companies, it might be him. He's been amazing. He's incredibly over with the AEW audience. When you think about like All In was 7 years ago, he was in the Get Your Shit In main event, had to rush off at the end. It always felt like logically this was where he was supposed to be, and he's just been amazing. Like you said, just the amount of charisma he does that like cool Tawny does, where he does like the gun point and like all the feats of strength, and then can still do these insane dives and everything. Like he's just amazing, man. Like it's only a matter of time before he moves on from Ring of Honor and he's on the main show proper at some point. Like for good.
definitely.
I mean, I know he's doing the Brodito stuff, but like
he's tag champ, isn't he? Tag champions, no.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, definitely like as I think obviously I think what you mean is just like as a focused singles guy.
Yes.
In I guess what we'll call the AEW main roster, you know. But yeah, I agree, man. He's unbelievable. Like I said, he very much deserves these Wrestler of the Year shouts. And like I said, they're getting louder and louder, man, with fucking performances like this. And it's taking nothing away from Hechicero. It's I think it's the best Hechicero performance I've ever seen. He was unbelievable in this match as well. Like he showed me things that I didn't know he could do in this match. You know, them ones. But I think the main takeaway for me from this match was just like it was 36 minutes and it pretty much flew by, bro. It was paced so well, you know. But yeah, great match. Bandito's so versatile. Like kind of off the back of points at you making. Bandito's so versatile, bro.
Yeah.
You even see it throughout this match. You know what I mean? Again, to your point, it's just like at the start where it's a bit slower and they're doing like the trading holds and stuff. It's like Banditos with Hechicero every beat he's there with him, and then it's like he's selling. Like he's so good at selling as a babyface. He's so good at selling. And it's just like the way he can fire up, and it's just, you know, it's everything, bro. It's like if you want to have like he can have a hoss match. he's like 190 pounds or something. He can have a hoss match, bro. I don't know where he gets all his power from, man, because he is ridiculously powerful for his size. It's crazy.
Yeah. In the tag match at Forbidden Door when he was doing like the big feats of strength with the Hurt Syndicate guys, I'm just like, where did this guy come from? Like made him in a lab or something, man.
He's mad. He is mad. He can do pretty much anything. Again, whilst wearing a very, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, a mask that covers his whole face. You know, like he can't emote the way that 99% of other wrestlers can, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like it doesn't matter to him. So
it has probably like one of the most unique luchador masks as well. Very Wildstorm comics, like scarf like style face. It all works for him, man. Like his gear that he came down to the ring in was also awesome. He's just one of the coolest wrestlers in the world right now.
He's not sound dramatic, but he's a wonderful, wonderful professional wrestler.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Anything else from the weekend? Of course, the main event of Death Before Dishonor as well. Athena versus Mina. That was a very strong main event, especially having to follow that 36-minute fucking masterclass by Bandito and Hechicero. If you're gonna have any woman go out there and try and follow it, Athena is one of the main people you would task with that. Mina held her own as well, and they didn't die out there, you know, which was, of course, I guess after a match like that was pretty much the goal at that point, you know. And they had a very, very, very decent main event. So shout out Athena as always. Shout out Mina as well. She's looked pretty decent since coming back. So yeah, man. And what else? Obviously we just touched on Raw. Stephanie Io's announcement. We mentioned that. Dom beat AJ Styles. Mentioned that. But yeah, we might be getting an Usos reunion again. Reunion might be too strong of a word, but Jimmy's going to be helping Jay against the Seth Riders, it looks like. So, you know, I'm going to pop for that, people. You know, I love the Usos, man. I love
Jim.
Big Jim. the Yeet Man. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Um,
Listen, I know we're doing this thing with Andrade and Phoenix is over there, but if we're getting the Usos back together, Usos versus Lucha Bros has to happen, bro. I don't care how we get there. It has to happen.
I think we're just gonna get Usos versus the Bronze, and you're just gonna have to like it. You know, them ones,
Bro. You can't have those two wrestlers in this company and have arguably one of the best tag teams of this era there and not just do it. Come on, man.
They can.
Come on,
they
bro.
can.
Come on,
and they probably will. So
come on.
I'm not getting my hopes too. I ain't getting my hopes up too much about the whole Lucha Bros thing just yet.
Come on, bro. What's Phoenix
even
doing over there, bro?
I don't. Where even Phoenix and Andrade weren't even on SmackDown this week. So
Yeah, bro. Come on,
they
bro.
didn't I don't think they did the tour, did they? So
Nah, bro. Get Phoenix out of there and get him over here with his brother, man.
it makes all the sense in the world, but you know, can't have nice things all the time. Is there anything else? Anything else I missed? Chat. Phil?
Yeah, we got the big Becky Punk segment, which was probably one of the biggest talking points from Raw. I thought it was good. I thought it did what it was supposed to do. It continued to put over Seth as a coward. He sent Becky out there.
His
Becky,
wife, you know, his fucking pussy sent his wife. His wife, you know.
Becky coming out to Seth's music and mocking his entrance was very funny. I thought the segment itself was good. It did what it was supposed to do. Big AJ chants throughout this thing, and Becky played into it. Becky did the woman slap #1 at the end to Punk. Then she kind of continued to slap him and like nudge him with her forehead, which was really, really funny to me. And we got the Punk line of "You're gonna regret putting your hands on me," which I have to believe is setting up AJ Lee. If it's not, then I don't know what the heck we're doing.
Yeah, I thought the segment did what it needed. So some people fucking hated it, but it's just kind of like, I don't know. I was saying
I liked
before
it.
it went live. It's like the idea of them doing like a Punk and Becky Lynch face-to-face promo. I think some people were expecting it to be like this big epic thing, you know, and it was just like, no, it was more just to kind of get over the idea of Seth being a fucking pussy and AJ Lee hints, then giving like a real bridge to AJ Lee coming back. Do you know what I mean? Other than obviously Punk getting screwed in the title match, but to really give it, because obviously in kayfabe, the idea of AJ Lee sitting at home and watching that, she ain't just gonna take that, bro.
No.
You know what I mean, you you can't let Becky Lynch put hands on your man like that. Oh, what we doing here? Do you know what I mean? So obviously, AJ Lee better come back. So
yeah, I think it gives Becky, some of the things that Becky had at like her hottest moments, like putting her in there with John Cena when like she was at her peak as the man, and now putting her in there with a guy like Punk, and I think it does a lot to raise her profile with the IC title. And Becky is known as a talker, as a promo, and putting her in there with like probably one of the best promo guys like ever, it makes sense. And I don't think that her promo was like, lit the world on fire, but I thought it did what it was supposed to do for this feud.
No, I tend to agree. No, cause I wouldn't say like either of them cut like great promos or anything, but it's again like the closing angle at Clash in Paris. They hit the notes that they needed to hit to get the story where we assume it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if fucking Bailey comes out next week, I'll be like, what the fuck is this? You know? But it's just like, and I love Pam. You man know I love
Bailey,
Pam.
bro.
So don't ever think that he has anything against Pam. But, sometimes it's only one person you can deliver in situations, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
I said bring back Paige too. I mean, at the Rumble, innit? So,
oh my God, bro. Can you imagine if that's what it is next week?
No, I'm not going to imagine that. Actually,
that would be so.
I'm not going to do that.
That would be awful.
I'm not imagining that. But yeah, just a quick note on Collision. I really enjoyed it because I really like the idea of Collision in this smaller venue, and it's more intimate, and I mean it's complimentary. It kind of felt like Black and Gold NXT. The way
It did.
that like the FTR match, and the way they built the heat for that, and then that obviously bled into the crazy heat they got in the promo after.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, this is black and, you know what I mean? Like, this is Black and Gold, but like this is like the feel of the like the energy from the crowd, and obviously the size of it being a bit smaller and stuff, and it being like
Yeah.
the super locked in fans, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh.
Boom, I'm back. There we go. Got the audio back. Where was I? Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out Collision. That's what
Yeah.
I'm doing. Shouting out Collision. Shout out Collision. Shout out FDR. We're getting Mox versus Daniel Garcia
Again.
this weekend. Yeah, we're getting
Yeah.
that this weekend on Collision. That could be
Yeah.
really good in that venue. That could be
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah, I thought Garcia's promo on Collision was good. I thought his backstage promo from Dynamite was also very good. I like all of the storytelling they're doing so far between Dan and Mox. I think it makes a ton of sense with like the history with Garcia and Blackpool Combat Club, and then like even the stuff with the Deaf Riders right after Brian got written off TV for it to be a big Dan Garcia feud. And this kind of feels like what Mox initially wanted to do after the stuff with Brian anyway, to work some of the younger guys and give them a spot. So I'm glad that we're back to doing that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. The Triangle of Madness stood tall at the end of the show as well, and they look strong, which obviously makes sense for them to be building that group up. And yeah, Alex Windsor cut a promo on Mercedes. Thought she sounded really good. And yeah, man, a good weekend of wrestling, bro. Like, I really enjoyed Collision. I thought Raw just now was pretty alright as well. Clash in Paris was a decent little show. ROH, Death Before Dishonor, I thought was actually quite. I thought it was a good show. ROH Death Before Dishonor. And yeah, Sami won. Listen, man, it's not Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa. It's one of those matches. Like, if you've got the time, I'd recommend it. Do you know them ones? It's just like, look, if you like watching Sami Zayn,
A lot of wrestling.
Yeah, if you like watching Sami Zayn do his thing and the way he puts his matches together, then you will enjoy it, man. Because like,
yeah.
And they do like the big main event title change thing they do in WWE now, where it's like basically Bloodline rules, you know. So like, all the MFTs are brawling with fucking like Jimmy Uso comes out, and then they hit the music for Jacob Fatu to do a run in, like it's like,
Yeah.
And then obviously Sami eventually gets the big moment, and
Big win, roll credits.
yeah, man. Like it was very much that style of WWE title change, and it so. But it was also a Sami Zayn match, so I'd go like 3.5 on it, you know. So nothing crazy, but if you like your Sami Zayn matches, it's worth watching, man. But yeah, I think that's it, man. Covered the weekend as well as we can. Like I said, we weren't ever going to do like a full review of everything other than Clash in Paris. And yeah, man, Raw just happened. Hopefully we will be back tomorrow with Ibu and Rob, I think. I'll just confirm that with them tonight though, and then yeah, we're gonna be trying to do more streams this month and try to work this out. But yeah, for the Mondays, obviously worldwide is you know, Ibu's not gonna never be on worldwide again. That isn't what we was doing. It's just this one because obviously Ibu's not trying to review Clash in Paris this week. Anna also has to be up in the morning early, so she wasn't on it this week. So we called in me and Phil. Well, I called him me and Phil. Me and Ibu were doing creative meetings. Like, who should we book for this? And it was like, well, he was pretty obvious in the end. Tried to get someone else as well, but it fell through last minute. But I'm sure you guys will see said person pretty soon. But yeah, anyway, tomorrow, Ibu and Rob Phil, you got anything you want to plug? Grapsody, anything you got coming up? Any articles or anything like that you got coming up?
I don't. Grapsody, of course, every Saturday at noon Eastern on Fightful's YouTube channel. Can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Grapsody. I think that's it. Yeah.
Good shit, man. Good shit. But yeah, this week keep up to date. Well, keep up to date with our streams and obviously everything else that we're doing by following our page. I'm sure most of you already do. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate all the super chats. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back later this week as well. Might even do an AEW show on Thursday. We'll see how it all goes, man. We'll see how it all plays out. But appreciate you guys for watching. And yeah, man. We will catch you tomorrow with Ibu. I cannot find the outro. That's why I'm dragging this out. There it is. There we go. All right. Peace, people.